vision comes to me. Vicious. Grotesque. Lustful. The stench of death. Sounds of agony. The ritual of Death Night. I feel it in the meadows. I sense it in the air. Your wickedness growing. Chaos spreading throughout my beautiful land. And I grow weaker. Your sword of Cain. The maker of widows. I know you seek it. But your efforts are futile. For I, Alariel the Ever Queen, Mother of all, will bring the light to end your darkness, Crone Hellebron.
That's how we'll get away with it, is we will just take off the end, hopefully. Hello everyone, welcome on into our Crone Hellebron stream. The Dark Elves did just barely lose our vote to the Bretonnians when I had our last full Let's Play campaign vote. But I decided, even though Barathi was the initial vote that we were going for there, I felt it would be more fun to go for Crone Hellebron instead, as they had a whole big change to the slave mechanic, and she has all sorts of extra goodies. She captures more casualties every battle there, and she will have slave reduction costs for the sacrifices to Cain, and gain a little bit more income from slaves, kind of overall. I don't think it actually is more than Marathi gains from the Slanesh corruption, but that's just fine. Crone Hellebron is also in a different area as well, since it looks like Gorok is going to win. I'm going to go ahead and kick off over here with Crone Hellebron, so we have a bit of a variance in our campaigns. Hey, Space Toast, welcome on in. Good to see ya. Hope everyone is having a fantastic afternoon. So for our settings for Crone Hellebron, we'll go start off with that first. We are rolling with the Ultimate Crisis mode on. I have it set to 175 on the extra difficulty, very hard on campaign and battle both. And the Ultimate Crisis is going to have the Black Pyramid. I'm going to take the Black Pyramid off since we're not really likely going to be over in Kimry. But we have Ultimate Crisis on, and I'm going to keep the Biggest Wa on, Vampiric Assumption, Vermintide, and the Will of Hashut. I don't feel like dealing with a bunch of Dawi, or I never ever feel like dealing with a bunch of Wood Elves, so let's have everything else kind of going on and after us there. It's 12 o'clock there for you. Yeah, it is, it's 10:14 here for me, so pretty late, but we'll make it work.
Revel in slaughter with me.
Also, I've been looking forward to playing Dark Elves. I've only had really one campaign, and it has been with, well, I guess two. I've had a bit of Rakarth, and I did a bit of testing with Marathi beforehand. She is incredibly powerful. We're going to try out Hellebron. She kind of reminds me of the Zatan of this race here. So for her starting army, she's going to have a bit of a kind of a generic one with some pretty powerful units hidden on in there. Got some Dread Spears and some Dark Shards, as well as Sisters of Slaughter, the Bleak Swords, and one of the strongest infantry in the game, the Hargoneth Executioners. They do lose out to things like the Chaos Chosen with great weapons, and I think even they have a hard time with the Lore Masters of Hoeth, but they are basically the Dark Elf equivalent. Her faction effects are she can have the Sacrifice to Drakira, so she can improve Death Hags and Witch Elves, and bonuses for all armies versus High Elves. We'll have casualties captured post-battle plus 25%. More hero capacity for our Death Hags by +2, extra slave cost reduction for the Sacrifice to Cain by 33%, 5% more income from slaves, and then for Hellebron herself, she will have 50% less upkeep for Witch Elves, Sisters of Slaughter, and these Hargoneth Executioner units, which is going to be awesome. Your Witch Elf is going to become your expendable frontline unit, and it's terrifying. Extra weapon strength also for all of those units as well by 10%. She is a fairly terrifying faction. The only thing that is really kind of going against her is she's not a spellcaster herself. She is a melee duelist of almost no equal, so she will at least be making up for that a little bit. Starting up here in the bleak coast of Nagaron, very, very close to the Blood Queen Valkia, so it'll be a bit of a blood battle. Crone Hellebron is the most ancient of the Hag Queens, and second only to Morathi and Kane's sight. However, while the youth and beauty of Morathi never fades, Hellebron is now almost expended. Hellebron's is now almost expended. The Hag Sorceress deliberately withheld from her the deepest secrets needed to use the Cauldrons of Blood. Therefore, ever more sacrifices are needed to fill Crone Hellebron's cauldron each year. And yet the rejuvenating effects last for even a smaller length of time on each occasion. Ugly and worn as she may be, Crone Hellebron remains the greatest of the brides of Kane. Her mastery of the many ways of murder eclipses even that of Morathi, who is often too distracted by her sorceress pursuits. Far outstrips the skills of the other Hag Queens. It is she who leads the Lord of Murder's unholy rites and dictates the holy creed of all witch elves must follow. She is so steeped in the ways of death that her merest touch can kill, and a single whispered word from her withered lips can often open up wounds or old wounds to bloody life. Whether Hellebron treads, the gaze of Kane follows, and my English shatters itself. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's dive on in. Listen, everyone gets labeled expendable at some point. It's unfortunately for them, it's going to be the Witch Elves. Dark Elves just look like they are having the best time all the time, but only when they're torturing folks. The happy little snakes, pet. Well, any day now. I think what we'll be doing first is going after Valkia. When I was going in my Valkia campaign, we ran over Crone Hellebron so fast she had no opportunity to really build up much more than kind of a small army. Now, we gotta make sure that doesn't happen here. We're gonna be caught between two forces of chaos. Khorne and Slaanesh.
Kane, I stand before you seeking the pleasures of war.
Seeking the pleasures of war. This one is actually on vanilla. Since we are whatever our next campaign that is going to be kind of a regular old Let's Play format, that's going to be on the SFO, I think, that we'll be playing on. People said that either Eltharion or Itza both have some pretty cool mechanics on SFO, so I figure we'll have some vanilla campaigns and some SFO ones, and even some Radius, which is what Orion is filling the gap of. So how they play. Argonath, use slaves to periodically trigger a Death Knight, rejuvenating Hellebron with a powerful faction-wide effects and spawning a Blood Voyage to benefit your campaign. Blood Voyage is kind of like a one of the armies you can spawn over with Slaanesh's group. I don't think you can control them. It's an AI army that kind of does whatever it wants, which is not the best, but I think you get abilities later on to actually upgrade these things. They're quite deadly, even if you can't control them. Also, we'll also be capturing slaves to receive greater bonuses from certain buildings and enable instant building construction. We'll use diktats and sacrificial rites to maintain the slave population and gain additional effects. We will also be performing the sacrifice to Mathlan to enable the summoning of Black Arcs to make use of their unequal invasion support capabilities. They've got all sorts of extra buffs they layer out to armies in the form of bombardment spells and the like. And then we will also be constructing the Shrine of Widowmaker at the Shrine of Kane and Ulthuan to obtain the Sword of Kane, a supremely powerful but burdensome weapon. Be burdensome. Indeed, we won't be minding one bit. Alright, and that's how they play. Before we get too far in, I will just jump on in and show off the graphic settings that we are rolling with. Ta-da. Yes, glorious. Let's see what we got for our first bit of hero here. So you start off with a Death Hag, and we do get extra access. We'll have 3 of them total pretty quickly on. Our first one here, being named Loruus Soul Forger, and she is a strategist, so we'll be able to move a little bit further. No help on the battle map itself, but that's just fine, because we'll be able to just move a little bit further. The taxi cab of the Dark Elves. Sweet business.
I listen.
3 solid duelists will be excellent at taking down any Dark Elf mages that may come across us, which we will be dealing with in Grand. First, though, we've got Ganakas. Ganakas and his goblin archers. Smashing him, heading on up to Spite Reach. This is one of the Dark Elf provinces, actually has 4 settlements. We'll have a lot of work to do to start here. Let's dive on in, though. We'll grab our technology. I think we'll start up with Battle for Business to start off first. Sounds great. I know getting the growth bump to begin with is good. Let's make sure we're making that money. And then we'll go through to grab... Oh, man. They're gonna put it on both sides, huh? That's just fine. We'll keep on with Battle for Business. Hellebron right after Ganakas. Right in after Ganakas. Actually, Auto Resolve is giving us a close victory with medium casualties. This is going to be on very hard, so... Even the trolls are going to have a bit more leadership than normal. If we set things up, though, where our Dread Spears are facing down the trolls and the Orc Boar Boys, should allow the Dark Shards to kind of tear them apart with those dual firing crossbows they've got. So they fire, yeah, it's 2 projectiles, and they're nice and armor piercing. Good stuff. All right, Ganakas, prepare thine cheeks. Off against a cage breakers. We will have to see if he decides to come on after us. Generally, the AI will decide. Let's see here. Probably be best to attack the hill. Have the Dread Spears kind of take the front. Make sure that we don't let the hill kind of disrupt our own Dread Spears or at least our own Dark Shards there. They don't have the best arc fire capabilities, so we're gonna actually pull over to this side here. We'll have the Dread Spears, we'll have one take the front. Dread Spears actually could probably pull up into the forest, and the trolls and Orc Boar Boys shouldn't actually try to go into the woods after them, and if they do, we'll surround them and spearmen there. Or Dread Spears. Kind of like, so just gonna completely surround those archers and those Dread Spears. Got the 2 Orc Boar Boys, or Orc Boys. Best things to be dealing with them going to be the Sisters of Slaughter and Hargadeth Executioners, if we can get them into combat with them.
Dark shots.
Hellebron!
Yeah, let's have something along these lines. So let's do Sisters of Slaughter, like so. Sweet, and we'll have them kind of attacking from just kind of barely on that flank there. Spread them out a smidge. We'll have the Death Hag going with them. 30% physical resistance is very nice. We'll have Hellebron taking the front. I'm probably going to end up calling her Morathi several times. And the same would be happening if I was playing as Morathi. Hey, our rivals. As rivals as it comes. Alright, battle begin. Let's get to it. And as they march, we'll go ahead and just kind of come on in slow-mo and see the kind of units we've got here. Your good old cheap and cheerful Dread Spears. Actually a pretty solid defensive unit. Everyone knows how deadly Dark Shards are. Would have a lot of range, but once you do enter that range, you're in for a world of hurt. It's best to get them access to their Vase crossbow shields as quickly as you can, since they don't have quite as much range as the other Elven Archers, which we will be facing off against quite a bit. Leek Swords are always a very, very solid unit. They always perform way better than you expect them to. Giant 2-handed Kapesh wielding maniacs, and then the Sisters of Slaughter, who are going to rip and tear through unarmored infantry. Even some armored ones, like they don't even exist. This should be a good bit of fun. The most dangerous units here are definitely going to be those trolls and the Boar Boys. We can keep them contained, though. We should have no trouble.
Dark
Even though auto-resolve doesn't really like our odds here so much.
Mystery upon mystery. Cain's chosen.
Bring you all up into the forest there. Looks like they're keen on staying back just a bit. We don't have a lot of range, so
Priestess.
can we force any of you to rampage? Our own allies, yes.
merciless warriors. Understood. Following orders.
They're gonna come on forward.
Death Hag. Death
Or maybe
Hag.
not. Well, they're not gonna play ball.
Dark shards.
Or if they are, they're gonna go ahead and chase off our other units. They're going up into the top here. So let's go ahead and bring everyone into the woods.
For the king.
Yeah, that's who they're gonna go after. Interesting.
Gladly.
Nagarothi.
Push into the woods. Rather not.
Without question.
We'll just gotta move up this other side. We'll have the swordsmen take
Druki.
their position where they already were. We'll have the Death Hag kind of take any kind of charge they would like to try.
I go. Skilled murderesses.
I mean, the Goblin Archers are not gonna be that dangerous.
Forward. Dark shards.
Dark Shores, let's go ahead and layer some doom upon the trolls first.
No mercy. The merciless host.
Spears up.
My blade hungers. Eager for battle. On to slaughter. Dealers in death.
Healers in death. Prove it.
We are ready.
Prove it or else.
Them bleed. Understood.
Break them.
As you say.
Send the Death Hag around. Sitting in the boys to go ahead and have
Cain's wrath.
Hellebron. Don't say Marathi. Then Hellebron after them.
Nagarothi.
Go ahead and get the counter charge in. Pretty nasty charge from the orcs there. That's alright. Drop off the crazy serum on you all.
Great spears.
They're gonna try to charge through, so we'll go ahead and see if we can't stop them. Perfect, got them caught.
To destruction.
Bring the spearmen in.
No
Wow, their
mercy.
archers annihilated our dark shards.
Death Hag.
Cold-blooded killers.
That's crazy amounts of
Onwards
damage.
to murder. Carnage awaits. Going. Following orders.
By all means. Death
She's got with trolls. We'll have to get everyone else up and
Eager for
around.
battle.
The amount of slaughter to be had.
Cold-blooded killers.
Indeed.
Get on over there, quickly.
Sacrifice them.
Man,
Merciless
how
warriors.
much armor are you guys rocking? 30? That would make sense. They've got no armor.
Spears. Dark shards. Without
Got them all pinned into the woods there. That's a bad time.
Hearkener.
There's a Hellebron in the middle. In their midst.
Of course.
We can pull you back into the woods a bit there.
Femme fatale. Death Hag.
I'm impressed with the amount of damage the orcs did to our poor bleak shards there.
Eager for battle.
Or bleak shards. Bleak swords.
Onward.
Pull them on away.
To destruction.
Charge them down against the goblins. We have kicked in our murderous prowess. Doesn't look like the trolls are willing to go after them, so Poison will have to do its thing. Urban, go ahead and turn and deal with the orc boar boys coming on in.
Dark shards.
Got a bit humiliated there by
No mercy.
those gobos. Did a lot of damage.
Slay them.
Mistress of Whispers.
Awesome, mate. Get shot at him, that'll do it. Speech 100.
Time to kill.
Alright, we just have to deal with the war boss now, which we should have definitely had both of them dueling him at the same time.
Advancing.
Also, mate,
By Cain.
good warm-up battle there.
Druki.
Took probably a bit more damage than we need to.
No survivors.
Blades ready.
See if we can have you guys chasing off this war boss.
Agreed.
We are ready.
I won't lie, I expected that. I didn't expect the goblin bows to do quite that much damage.
Moving out.
Humbled a bit by the flinging sticks. Screeching intensifies. Yeah, that's the screeching of victory. They're just trying to chase off the trolls for now. And noisy. Maybe use the whips more than shouting. Let's go after the orc boys. You have a better chance of actually catching them. I'll speed this thing on up. Fetch me some casualties. We're gonna need them. Pushing on to the next problem is gonna be a bit more dangerous than normal. And those orc boys are hit very hard. And battle end. 230. I think we're doing just fine. We'll let the Dread Spears take the brunt of the next fight. And we shouldn't have to worry about trolls or orc boar boys at all. We'll definitely need to get a spellcaster in as soon as we can, since Hellebron doesn't actually start with one. Two very incredible duelists, though, to kind of counter that. You need to charge them at the enemy spellcaster as fast as you can. Alright, next time we'll try to focus them down. We will definitely be going for this middle option here. Enslave gives us a nice bit of replenishment and a hefty dose of slaves.
Bind them tight.
Welcome back to the mines, cage breakers. Oh, nice. Shield solo, so more melee defense and missile resistance. First discovered in the far south by Tomb Raiders. Surely it's not cursed.
Behold my beauty.
Alright, we're going to give you the Dance of Death for more melee attack and defense. The next one we will give her is the Inspiring Presence. Once we claim the settlement, should be enough experience to give us what we need there. We'll go for the Dance of Death on it, the Death Hag as well. Going for replenished troops once we've captured the settlement. Good business. Alright then, ladies. Onward to murder.
Fill my cauldron.
Fill my cauldron. Auto-resolve's being a bit more kind to us here, except we know the sheer power of the humble Gabo archer. Let's get in there. Seems like Monsters Abound had in trouble with the Nagash mod too. That's too bad. Such a well-made mod. I would like for it to be working well for someone. I noticed that his I was watching the first 2 episodes, but I noticed it did stop at 3, which again doesn't make me thrilled. I would have liked to see more on that one. I'd like to play more on that one myself. All right. Well, at least this time we have a nice hill to kind of use to kind of block them off. Start with our how much range advantage do we have on the Gabo archers? We don't. By 10. Okay.
Dark shards.
We want to keep that in mind then. Let's have the spearmen.
Dread spears. Cold blood.
Dread spears set up to kind of block those
Dark shards.
initial shots if we can.
Dread spears.
Kind of separate or surround them there. We'll have the swords back. And we'll let the Sisters of Slaughter and the Hargonath Executioners let their armor and resistance kind of win the day for them. Hellebron will have you try to stop the enemy cavalry, as weak as they may be. The Death Hag is in charge of diving into the Gabos or taking out these orc boys here. Alright then. Get everyone in their groups.
Hag Queen, granted.
And lock.
Bleak swords.
That'll begin.
Hellebron.
Gonna use the hill there to our advantage.
Very well.
Yeah, I bet it had a ton of extra scripting when we had Neferata and a few extra kind of special, unique lords that all had their own horde buildings and unique horde effects as well. And then every single city that counted as a place of death had all sorts of extra things going on as well. There was a ton going on in that mod. That's why it was so incredible. Yeah, may need a bit of optimizing, which good that we get to at least showcase some of it, and the modders can see that a bit more work needs to be done. Even if it doesn't give them a lot of clue as to what actually does need doing. Alright, Hellebron, you come on forward.
Dark shards.
We'll have our infantry team advance on the enemy.
Battle calls.
Without question.
Crossbows, you hunt those Gobbo archers, you hunt the wolf raiders, and you go with Hellebron.
Rookie. Merciless warriors.
Merciless warriors.
Nagarothi.
I'm gonna have the Scissors of Slaughter hunt down the Gobbo archers. They're back in the back here somewhere. Argonauth executioners have a ton of armor, so they should be able to hold in just fine.
Battle ready.
Especially when they're fighting with the spearmen.
Striking out.
Dark shards.
Dark Shards get in each other's way. I hoped I had spread them out enough where they wouldn't,
Eager
but
for battle.
I was wrong.
Let them suffer.
And time to go crazy.
Red spears.
Get them. Oh, the wolf raiders don't want any. I guess we'll just drop it on ourselves. I wanted to drop it over here, but she has to move. Oh, that'll do.
We are
It's
ready.
not like the Dread Spears need to go rampage mode, but here they come. The angriest Dread Spears around. For to defend.
Bringers of death. Cain's bride.
Battle
You guys can deal with
ready.
these wolf riders, no problem. Alright, turn and help out with these goblins here. Pull you boys back. That armor piercing's gonna do too much damage to our own. Blood Mist of Cain. You'd be just scything him down. Really need to try to get some cavalry in pretty soon. They're having the best time. Death Hag is taking a bit of damage though. Her physical resistance only holding in for so long.
Red spears.
Mother of despair.
Would rather her take the damage than anyone else though.
Strong.
Time to pull on away.
Mistress of whispers.
Sounds like she said Mistress of Whiskers, which that doesn't sound as pleasant. Get him, Hellebron. He's basically peak Sonic the Hedgehog, who's way more violent.
Blades.
You can just roll up into a ball, that'd be fantastic. Slice the legs and heads off of like 4 of them. That's the way. I don't actually think we can gain more captives here, so let's go ahead and end the battle. The bolts midair, on their way to scythe down friendly troops. Listen, the second anyone tells me that the Nagash mod is running smoothly, I will jump back in and do more testing. We'll continue our Nagash campaign right away. Or just better yet, CA can release the Nagash DLC. Which we know isn't coming anytime soon. I think they will actually add most of the Mortarks into the game before they bring Nagash in. They've got most of them in already. I don't know if they'll choose to add Neferata in before or even at all. She's in multiple different spots. She even has her factions in the game. Neferata herself isn't. We lost 66 in the battle. That was way better than that first one. 47 slaves brought on in. It will definitely be... Ooh.
Take
Loot
them.
occupy. Oh, we can activate a Death Knight. Sacrifice slaves to fill the Death Knight bar to maximum. It's doing alright for now. We don't need to kick her up to a Blood Queen just yet. Slowly replenish even in enemy territory. What we'll do is we'll wait till once it drops, probably to bitter. The second it drops to from respected to bitter, we'll kick off the Death Knight then and drop it. Bring it all the way back to max. I love how, hey Common, welcome on in. I love how these are full-on slaves and not workers. Well, this is from the good old days when they were less worried about being correct, and more worried about being correct in the lore.
Mistress of Hag
Although
Queen.
the dwarfs are way more likely to be sarcastic and call them laborers just for the sake of it.
Queen. Cain's priestess.
Alright, let's grab in some dog shards. Because that'll be the majority of our damage. We'll grab 4 of these guys here. And see what kind of pairing and other kind of goodies we can get to. Arganeth has 2 landmarks we need to keep room for. The fiery pits of sacrifice. The Druki worship the brutality of Cain above all. Founding centers of agony is his name. Ah, so this is the place where they do the drip torture. More post-battle loot. Fruit rake for death hags, Cainite assassins. Corruption drop for all regions. It's pretty good. It'll be definitely good with all of the different chaos factions we have nearby, although by then we should have them crushed. Unless we're doing something real wrong. We have Hellebron's palace. From within, the Blood Queen enters new and excruciating methods of murder. Crossbow range is big oof. Oh, it is. It is miserable to start. I think we actually have some things that can buff that up, but to start, yuck. Shoot 2 bolts, and they are mostly armor piercing, so it does make up for it a bit. Especially when we can actually get some guys that have the vase shields. You calling them like interns? I feel like that's definitely something the dwarfs would do just for the sake of it. Can we grab in the building for the witch elves, the altar of Cain? I think this is gonna be the thing we grab it first off here. Start filling the witch elves into our army, and then we can get the death hag and Cainite assassin very, very soon as well. We'll grab the winery here in this fight reach, although that just gives us wine and nothing else. Okay, so we'll go for that second. Perfect. First, then, is the Dark Elf Manners. A noble birth will only get you so far. Strength, domination, and the ability to kick others down ladders will take you to the end. We build that for 150 labor. Oh, you know what? We can instantly build this and get some witch elves in right away. Sorry, crossbows. Witch elves are the only way. We'll get much more labor.
I am Cain's instrument.
Oh yeah. The witch elves are going to be great. Almost no armor, but they've got a lot of speed and the madness of Cain, which anyone they are going to be coming into contact with will rampage. Also dropping their speed and melee defense, so very good at assassinating groups of archers, forcing them into a melee. They don't have a ton of defense or attack really until we actually get that buffed up, but weapon strength being pretty high and having a bonus versus infantry, so it's really solid. As well as a lot of physical resistance and the ability to go frenzy. What mod do you got on? You see the white dot? The mods we have on are... Also, what white dot do you speak of? That's something I don't even know of myself. The mods we have on now are simply the ones for
Murderess.
changing up. I always forget the names as soon as I'm on the spot. But the better building progression mod, as well as better camera mod, and then the one that changed the dynamic world mod. So those ones.
Mistress of
I think lastly I've got the
Argonne.
one that makes the Dark Elf crossbows a little bit more chunky sounding when they fire. I've got 4 mods on total. Dynamic World has been really becoming one of my favorites. It also has a lot of stuff going on in the background, so when you see a little bit of a slowdown, it's usually that trying to load in its assets. I wanted to see how it worked out for the Druki so well. So as we go, we'll see if it drops in more Druki tents and kind of watchtowers and the things. And what the Dynamic World mod does is as you kind of conquer lands, it will drop in assets, remove assets that don't kind of match your faction, and drop in ones that do. So it was way more visible with the Empire, with throw little kind of townships all over the place. We'll have to see what it does with the Druki tribe. I'm thinking it's these little purple tents. Probably throws them up kind of all over the place. Little masters tents. We'll kind of keep an eye out. Bottom left corner, there's a white dot if you had mods on. Oh, this here. See. I never knew that. That is good to know.
It shall come to pass.
I'm usually at released running the building progression and better camera mod.
Cain's bride.
Speaking of, real quick, let's go ahead and change up our animation speed we get to. For the heroes, we'll go ahead and just have them on fastest. Lords on normal. Then for everyone else, we'll quickly run on here and do the thing. So it's mostly a vanilla campaign, just with a few added extras. Nothing that changes the actual gameplay itself, just UI things. Alright then, I think we're also going to go ahead and grab the Halls of Mustering. Gives us access to more masters and the ability to recruit one in, as well as giving us the Pavay shields on the crossbows. I'm not going to spend any slaves on this one. Wouldn't mind manners, because it'll give us a bit more replenishment.
Death Hag!
We just wouldn't be able to upgrade it to the next tier, and I'd like to only spend the resource when we are able to actually upgrade immediately to the next tier. Before we end the turn, we'll have to see what kind of Dark Elves we want to make friends with. Definitely with Nagaron. I think everyone else is going to get kneecapped. Just Nagaron, and that's it. So, Malekith and then Malice when we do meet him later on. Then we'll also be throwing a pie at Marathi as soon as we meet her.
Druki Cirrus!
Oh, interesting. Grond would like a non-aggression pact. Shouldn't we normally be defeating Grond?
Yes.
Malekith answers for us. I think in the meantime, we'll take a non-aggression.
Try not to bore me. It won't end
How much
well
money are you willing to give
for
me?
you.
200? No.
Cirrus!
We'll see how things play out. If she starts getting kicked in the knees by Valkia, she should be way more likely to give us a non-aggression pact. She owns a lot more land than normal. Interesting. Hey, Nikai, welcome on in. I thought it was a dead pixel. So did I. I've thought that for the longest time. I was like, oh man, what? I guess there's a little dot on my monitor, huh? No, now that I know. That's good to know. Appreciate you. To people that complain that the game's not working so they can see real quick if they have mods on. Oh, that's fair. That's a really good idea, too. It's just the smallest little thing. It's barely noticeable. It's not if you don't know it's there.
The whispers grow louder.
Oh, good. Whispers grow louder.
Chill-hearted.
The crazy grows crazier. Soothsaying is probably not what we want here. We'll probably go ahead and go for the replenished troops just for the next in-turn there. Then we charge on over and break some more orcs.
Hi.
Orcs.
Kill them all.
Yeah, so we'll see the number of tents we have now. Like 2 down here, and then we'll see the tentage afterwards. Giggity. You can't unsee it, neither can I now. I'm gonna be watching the bottom left corner of the screen. Now that you've said it, now that it's been seen, the demon has been unleashed for all of us. Thank you, Common. Not gonna lie, these battles are great. We're gonna get some more slow-mo shots of the sisters ripping through enemies here. Check out our new witch elves, and actually we get some close-ups of the units that are gonna sitting in place. We didn't do enough of that early on here. Our lovely witch elves, which are incredibly muscly. They can kill you with their 6-pack. To mention the dripping poison, that's helpful too. Ready to bathe in their blood. As much of it as we can get. Yep, indeed. We've got our Hargoneth Executioners, which again are just awesome. I need a 2-handed Kapesh. Everyone needs a 2-handed Kapesh. Look like they need to get some sun though. Yeah, that's not good. They're like, they got the Darth Vader helmet going on. He finally takes his helmet off. It was like the hiss of air. You know it smelled bad in there. And they are looking like they've seen better days. They've got the kind of shield gauntlets that are for both punching and blocking. They use those kind of shields mostly for they even kind of try to use them for blocking arrows when they were fast enough. Obviously, blocking arrows is not something you should try to do very often. It's not good for your health.
I shall pluck out their eyes.
I would say neither is battle, though. I wish with Harganeth we got kind of a, either like a black or like a dark red. Since the emblem itself kind of has the part being crunched up with a little beautiful red drippies. Dark elf women always look nice. Oh, these look like they have some scars on them. I misread that entirely. Woof. Kneecapped. As the door gets kicked open by the lady wizard.
Bring them to me.
Crossbows across the board here. These crossbows are fantastic. Not having as much range is real unfortunate, but anything they do
Cold is glorious.
manage to fire upon gets torn to shreds. And then our demon, Sonic the Hedgehog herself. I think her model's supposed to change as you go through the Blood Knight, so she changes as she diminishes in power and gains the strength again. And our normies. Perfect. That's enough of that. Get back to it.
Blood
Set up the crossbows on the high ground here. And then we'll have the witch elves running down the enemy bowmen.
skilled murderesses.
Kind of have something where the witch elves are taking either side, and the Sisters of Slaughter on the center.
By all means.
Arcaneth Executioners, and then we'll have the swordsmen slightly in front as they actually have shields. I don't know though, we'll have to see if shields... Actually, let's do a bit of a test. This is a good opportunity for...
We are ready.
We'll watch the Dread Spears and the Harganeth Executioners to see who takes more damage on the Goblin Archers. Let's bring the Sisters over to this side.
Eager for battle.
Look more like buckler shields. That's kind of what they are. They're like bucklers that are also for punching in the face.
Executioners.
Yeah, more for melee, exactly. The bucklers, the kind of the small bucklers, maybe for...
Bleak swords.
Maybe I'm thinking more Vikings. I've got the fictional Vikings stuck in my head here. They're out there blocking arrows on their long ships like crazies. Alright, we'll grab the Normie infantry, crossbows, specialized, and then the murderous ladies. Let's get it going.
Eager for battle. We understand.
We understand. Alright, Executioners, you can prove yourselves by charging directly into the goblins. We need to see how much damage you take.
Bride of Cain!
I'll have you go after the goblins. Seems like that's an easier target for you. The witch elves are a bit faster.
Quickly now.
Bringers of death!
Ha! Agreed.
Orders understood.
Agreed.
Dark shards. Dealers in death. Dread spears.
We'll have the Dread Spears go get their individual targets there. You roll with Hellebron.
Witch elves.
One of the Harganeth Executioners will be getting shot at first, but it looks like they're just going to retreat from us. I'm not impressed with what I see here. We're just going to start walking.
Ready.
We don't need to run. Except for Hellebron. And the Spearmen. The Spearmen need to run. Run, 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 run.
Red spears.
Alright, so that was the first volley. How about this side?
Dark.
Get him. Did almost no damage,
Sacrifice them. Canes.
which is good to see. Alright. And Crazy Sauce. Go! Only got one of them. That wasn't so great.
By Drakira.
Stop them from charging you. That's probably a way worse idea. The Sisters can move in and deal their damage there.
Glorious destruction.
Screaming intensifies. Not so much in slow-mo, though. Few of them got hit with arrows. Not sure where those came from, but whoever did it, if they're on our team, they're in trouble. Those whips whirling. That's a bad time. That's nearly a cavalry flank. Time to war. Gee, they're very loud bunch. She is taking a lot of damage against goblins, which makes me a bit sad. Have the Harganeth. Gonna move their chunky armored selves on over.
Following orders.
Brides of Cain!
Charge into those wolf riders, do some damage if you can.
Ready.
Yeah, we've got him. We've got him broken.
At once. Battle calls.
You guys just keep stabbing your gallows that are in your way. We'll have the arc shards move on in.
Speak dark deeds! No death!
Rest in peace. A few of the witch elves have fallen here. Those are all rampaged out though.
Merciless warriors.
Yeah, oh, that's the death tag. It's actually at half elf there. I thought it was our witch elves. They're taking a bit of damage. Hopefully we can get some kind of more overall resistances of them. Alright, that's the win though. Yep, exactly. Now the Lady Wizard knows she's a supreme. Wish we had some tier 3 goblins. I agree. I'm hoping we'll get, well, I mean, that'll be the hobgoblins, right? When they show on up. I guess in terms of goblin lore, I don't know enough, but when listening to Great Book of Grudges, he describes, I would say, the forest goblins probably as tier 1.5, tier 2, and then hill goblins probably is closer to tier 3. Hill goblins are a bit bigger, a bit more fighty. It's hard to fight when you can't hear. That's true. They'll shout at you the entire time. Bleeding eardrums and plenty of cuts. Alright. Rest in peace to Cage Breakers. I think we're gonna go ahead and loot and occupy this place as well. Because I need your things. They belong to me now. Crone is joyous. Here. And as she loses that, we all will lose resistance on our Crone as well as all of the specific units she has. On a dark steed, though, she's going to be moving very quickly. We've unlocked the sacrifice to Cain. The victims of Cain cannot go meekly into his halls. They must be bloody-handed. It must be bloody-handed murder. Once the blood is flowing, from whence will it stop? That's a good question. Next, we'll grab some dark shards. 4 of these guys should be able to blanket whoever we're dealing with in death. All the witch elves move across the field as fast as they can. Okay, Hellebron, we'll give you the root marcher then. Then we can start working likely on the blue line first, just so we get more casualties captured every battle there. And then from there, how much can we make? Where are they at? Oh, here we go. Extra melee attack and defense. So no extra resistances yet then. We'll likely want to save once we hit near rank 10. Save for some of these here. She gets more resistance, missile resistance for all of her specialized units there. Days of Cain's pretty good. Extra bonus versus infantry and melee defense. Sounds fantastic. Is there anything that gives us more resistances? I don't see any. Interesting. That makes me a wee bit sad. We'll be alright though. Confer Bloodlust. There it is. Extra physical resistance over in the gold chevron upgrade. 10%, 12% more weapon strength. Horrifying. Not for me, of course. I can't be bothered. Don't have the growth buildings, so that works for me. Go up to tier 2, they can grab their trading. Should we instantly complete? Let's see how much it is for their rights. Sacrifice to Cain is pretty expensive. 20% more casualty punishment. You're already about to hit max. We'll use the Sacrifice to Cain next turn, making sure as long as we can hit Quark, as long as we can hit this settlement here. Otherwise, not. How are you doing there, Grand? Looks like Volky has stolen Dagrax, and that makes sense. That tracks.
The people are
Turn.
displeased.
People are displeased. Tell them to sod off. Eat cake. Maybe some wine and some blood rock. Mix it together. has a blood rage bar. She does indeed. Well, she's got one where basically since she's got like most of the secrets of the blood cauldrons and not all of them, you have to sacrifice slaves. I think it's 500 every single time. But as you sacrifice that, it fills this bar back up full, and it slowly will drain. So it full your armies and those of the blood voyage, which I'm not sure how we do the blood voyage. It may happen when we kick off the Death Knight there. But once you get up to Blood Queen, your armies and that of the blood voyage will replenish even in unowned territory, kind of similar to the Cornate factions. Blood voyages will not suffer attrition from desertion. Great. Lords have a chance to gain 2 loyalty, which will keep them from rebelling on you in case you're having any loyalty issues. Perfect Vigor will be granted to Crone Hellebron and all of her unique units, as well as 20% physical resistance, 6 control, and 10 leadership. And that just kind of drains slowly, and those buffs kind of diminish from there down to Bitter. And Crone, she'll actually get some debuffs and some Undivided Corruption will kick on in. She is very, very opposed to Chaos as opposed to Marathi, who is all about Slanesh. That's not what I meant to do. Well, that makes me sad. Death Knight. And we don't get to use our right to Cain. And I'm tempted. There should be no saves coming here. We will deal with our mistake.
End them.
Alright, Cage Breakers actually have a pretty chunky army this time. Nothing our boys can't handle. Their archers actually do outrange ours though now, which is a bit scary. We just want to make sure our Dread Spears are up there taking the brunt of that fire. Man, I'm so very sad that we just wasted the slaves like that. That'll begin. You gotta love no confirm button. Gotta love not reading before you actually click things too. I'll happily take the blame for that one. Alright, now where's the best way to attack from? Since this is an actual proper settlement battle. Actually, I think it'll go even more in our favor than initially thought. Especially since we can have the Dark Shards tear apart any towers that we come into contact with. Have Hellebron and all the Witch Elves sprint up through the arrow fire. We need to make maximum use of all those extra resistances we have. Even if they were on accident. Oh, the Aurora Borealis of death and darkness. Hip hip hooray. Let's take back our emo abodes. Lads, forward! We need to definitely spread them out a bit. I want to be able to give an attack order with my crossbows, and all of them move up and fire, and not block one another. But I want to blanket everyone we can in arrows to start. That's obvious. Fair enough, but I want all 4 of them firing on the same target each time we give the order. Let's get our infantry out on the sides so I can actually take stock of what we have here. I want the bleak swords with spears. Argonath Executioners have 20% resistance as well as 100 armor. These guys are horrifyingly tanky. Alright, here's the plan. Executioners. And the Death Hag. Good to hear. And 1 set of Witch Elves. They move very fast. We'll have to keep them a little bit further back. We're just gonna have them walk. Don't want you guys in guard mode. I just wanted to take her out of the group. And then we'll have probably just 2 units of Dread Spears, or even just 1. We don't need that many. Just someone taking the brunt of the damage while the crossbows fire over the top. And we can have the Witch Elves rolling with them, or even the Sisters of Slaughter. That'll be nice on both sides here.
Cain's priestess.
Y'all are having a good time. We'll have you all
Mothers of murder.
take their attention up on the top here. Lead with the Spearmen. And then the last remaining Witch Elves can kind of come on in behind.
Dread spears.
Perfect. We'll even leave these guys back a bit.
Witch elves.
Executioners.
Throw it on. There's strange different groups here. Oh, we are. That'll work. Crossbows, God mode. Sweet. Just downloaded the first Total War Warhammer game and made many bad decisions. Man, I still make many bad decisions. I've got well over 2,000 hours in. That is just the way of a game like this.
Dark shards.
Alright. Infantry, let's go ahead and move up a bit. Crossbows, go ahead and let's go ahead and blast out that unit of goblin archers there. Indeed. What would be a better call? Those goblin archers are kind of sitting in an unfortunate position. Maybe we'll just wait a bit. Simply because the orc boys actually performed very well in battle against
Dark shards.
fielding to start here. Let's go ahead and blast apart these wolf raiders.
Hellebron.
Move up and hit this platform here. We'll have to keep an eye that there's archers on the other side, and they can kind of easily turn around. I see just a bunch of gobos. Those orc boys could pretty easily turn around, so we'll just go ahead and keep things as is for now. Hellebron's in the middle of spearmen. Okay, they are archers. Or they are gobos, so it's not that big of a deal.
Pain, lead me.
Dark shards.
Scoot on up. Blast them apart.
We understand.
We're actually going to have you guys go right past this first group of goblins here.
Dealers in
And the
death.
spearmen will just take this position here.
Destruction.
Nice blanket of doom. Pull Hellebron through.
Forward. Move.
Beautiful. Crossbows, deal with those archers.
To battle.
Hellebron just move up and take their position there.
Hag.
Looks like all of the boys are rotating back, so let's send in the spearmen and company.
Druki, as you say. Bloody murder.
Guys, move on in
Slaughter
first.
them. Forward.
Back to running.
Queen Hellebron.
Hellebron will have you both go ahead and go crazy.
Executioner.
Executioners come after this group.
Hag.
Death Hag, come on back.
Death Hag.
Bleak swords.
Actually, these witch elves are fast enough. We'll have them go up
Cold-blooded killers.
and hit these archers.
Druki.
These spearmen will just go ahead and take this position here, and we'll have the,
Forward.
like so.
Death Hag. Ride of
In.
Cain.
Give her a bit of speed.
Witch elves.
Rip them apart. Crossbows come up and help out
Dark shards.
Hellebron with her fights there.
Forward.
Executioners.
Organath executioners are holding in very well. Chunky armor and a whole lot of aggression.
Witch
Performed pretty well for them.
Slaughter them. Eager for battle.
Victory's already within our grasp, huh?
Hellebron. Massacre.
That's a bit. Okay, pull you ladies on back.
On to violence.
Get back in with these goblins.
Hag Queen. Hellebron. Bringers of death.
Get around and help out those Organath executioners. They're a bit overwhelmed. Death Hag can come on in after these gobos here,
Ride to Cain.
ripping them apart.
For the king. Merciless warriors.
Hey there, SHB lol. I'm not sure if how we properly say your name, but welcome on in. Good to see you.
Great spears. Glorious destruction.
At one point, you will just pause and cry at what you just did. That happens a lot, yeah.
Hellebron. Hardener.
Eager for
You want to
battle.
do it. It's not something you're able to do so well
Dealers
on
in
stream,
death.
but I do want to
Hellebron.
on occasion. Would have them go crazy. They just turn around and deal with those goblins. You should have left.
Merciless
Should have
warriors.
left while you had the chance.
Hellfire.
Great spears. Dealers in
Red Spears is kind of a waste of your time, but you'll deal with them no problem. I can't believe these Bleak Swords are performing so weakly. I should have given them as much praise as I did.
Dread spears.
Get on in there.
Them for town.
Keep slaying.
Hellebron!
Send Hellebron on through.
Dread spears.
Dread Spears will have to take this position, and everyone else is going to move on up.
No mercy.
Hellebron will have you go after these archers. Those orc arrow boys are causing some problems.
Cold-blooded killers. Slash kill.
How you're playing is Thorgrim, Grudge Bearer.
Slaughter!
They are very expensive, but they're
Them for towels!
very incredibly powerful units, each one.
Cut.
Except for the original kind of basic dwarf warriors. Those guys are not what I would call powerful.
Advance, Druki.
Realize these guys are getting attacked in the back by gobos.
Carnage awaits. Nagorot.
Burn fire.
Dread spears.
Hopefully these Dread Spears can capture this position quickly so we can then move them up into the next group.
Witch elves!
Witch elves go through.
Onwards to murder.
I don't need both of you coming on in. You just keep stabbing these gobos here. That'd be perfect.
I march! To battle!
Beautiful. Took a bit more doing that time, but we ripped through the cage breakers, no problem. Piles of dead orcs. Orcs, 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 orcs. Back to the mines. You can hear the whips even. Oh, we only lost 142. That was way more in health bar damage. Awesome. Dwarves are one where I always want to have. You always want to have a bunch of artillery and try to lure enemies into underway battles. That way they're all clumped up nicely for your artillery to blast them to bits. Not a lot of space for their cavalry to move around under there. Ah, too many cannons and thunderers. I mean, fair enough. Who cares about income when you can smack it out of the enemy fast enough? And a lot of kills out on the main squad there. Witch Elves, Sisters of Slaughter, and the Hard Death Executioners ripping through the enemy. We've got ourselves a web of shadows. Stop them from moving? No, it just slows them down. Woven from the hair of Witch Elves and studded with Harpy Fangs. Gross. I would be mad if someone threw this at me. I'd be very mad. We can loot and occupy. Sack 1,700 and a good deal of we get the same amount of slaves either way, so we just loot and occupy.
Cain demands
Keep it simple.
tribute.
Cain demands tribute. Ah, indeed. The Road of Skulls has been secured.
Bloody hand.
Think what we can go for then. Demand highborn hostages. Grabbing some extra ransom. Enforced tribute payments. Sacrifices for Cain, so more weapon strength in the province, but more post-battle loot faction-wide, which sounds awesome. It will likely be increased slave production quota then. We can rush construction for a bit cheaper and then have a bit more growth. As far as slave diktats though go, these are all pretty solid here. They cost a bit more than the Dawizar ones for about the same amount of payback though. I guess does make sense. Let's not do that again on accident. Man, and can you imagine activating a second Death Knight? We need to quickly come on in and grab the Sacrifice to Cain. Probably next turn. We'll want to do that before we get into another brawl.
Blood Queen of Hagenet.
Obviously. Get in here and grab these and dedicate the dreaded slaver. Extra post-battle casualties. We'll want to level up kind of as quickly as we can on these weak orcs. That way we can be prepared for when Volkia starts descending. I think it might be a good idea to come up and claim the Palace of Ruin. It is a capital.
Behold.
It'll just slow down our
my
fighting.
beauty.
Both great units. Oh yeah. Back up. Trying to replace them with some quarrelers and grudge throwers right now. Yeah, that is very fair. Starting off with the ability to, the versatility of the Quarrelers and Grudge Throwers does help out quite a bit. Having a mix of both, for sure. Thunderers for the front line and Quarrelers for the back. That's corruption. For our Death Hag, we're going to go ahead and give her the Impassion. She's able to defend herself a bit better. But he has plenty of attack. I want to make sure we're not getting hit as often. Sweet. Hellebron, when do you forget your first skill quests here? Amulet of Dark Fire is issued at rank 7. Controlling both gives us a 50% drop to right cost. That's pretty sizable. Quest battle at rank 12 for the Death Sword and the Cursed Blade. Fair enough.
Bewitching.
We repair. And I think for the first settlement here, we'll go for the Artisan's House for a mid-O gold. Oh. Yeah, no, I think we will come on back down south and fight Cage Breakers to try to continue to level up Hellebron here.
Bloody-handed.
Grabbing in another Lord. One that is a spellcaster is likely a good idea. Which kind of spellcaster? That is the question. Dark magic is one we haven't gotten to use quite a bit on the channel, but does dark magic have any good proper spells that are worth using? Doom Bolt's pretty solid. I guess Soul Stealer is pretty good. Pain. Chill Wind does have 100% armor piercing. Dark magic is great. I think them not being rushed by orc boys and squigs help. There, squigs move very fast. Even if they don't do all that much damage by themselves. Weapon Master or Discipline. Let's go for Sareth the Disciplined here. Bit of upkeep increase, but we can have her defend the north and go up after the Palace of Ruin, even without having to recruit her any extra troops.
Cain's will.
Hellebron will give you... Oh man, I really wish we had the option to switch units out. Getting the Pavase shields is really important. But at the same time, I think I'm going to prioritize grabbing Witch Elves. Because they're even cheaper.
Enchantress.
I'll do. You have supply lines. 4% upgrade in 4% army upkeep increase per army is pretty hefty. We should get the Blood Knight for the random Blood Voyage army kicking on in. See how that plays on out. More diplomacy.
Cruel and deadly.
Cruel and deadly. How much gold do you have?
Dread King welcomes you. What do you wish to discuss?
Not much, but we could trade. He is going to be taken out by Sigvald soon. Maybe trading what we can is a good call. Give me some gold.
Sorceress.
As far as Grond goes, I'm not interested in
Cirrus.
any kind of deals. I'd like her to lose her land so I can steal her gold mine.
You know of my powers, and still you come.
Here, Caladriel, here's what I'm going to do to you. Take your
It
money,
is done.
then break
Favored
that
of the
agreement
Witch
later on
King.
here. Steal your lands. Sounds lovely. Right then. The rebellion about to kick off. Good. We shall hunt them down. Dark magic is a great top 5 for you, fair. I have not actually gotten much time for dark magic myself. Alright, here's the rebellion. The wall is way down there closer to Harganeth. Do we get to control this
Dark
army?
and noble warrior.
No. It is nearly a full stack. Got a really cool looking emblem too. Blood Voyage are the remnants of those who fought in the streets of Hargoneth during the Death Knight. Still unsated in their bloodlust, they now set their sights on Ulthuan and the High Elves. Such crews remain insatiably hungry for violence. Riches have no interest. Murder is their only goal. So, we've just unleashed an army of death upon the High Elves. Fair enough. That wasn't intentional, but that'll work. Let's move on up to Black Pillar.
You are mine.
I'm gonna go ahead and start replacing our dark shards here with the ones with shields.
Kane's bride.
And Sareth is just gonna go
Chosen
after
of
the
the
Palace of
party.
Ruin. You don't have an encampment stance with the Druki.
Searching.
Okay, well she'll take a bit of attrition, but that's fine. You're a single entity.
Traveling.
No one's nearby. This is gonna likely make us some enemies, but if we can quickly come on up here and grab this capital settlement here, start making some gold back for us.
Mistress of Hargoneth. Kane's priestess.
All right. The rest will give you the replenished troops, and we'll keep on moving. Hopefully we can do a fight with this one on the field.
No.
We can just hit him with an auto resolve real quick. Crunch
My
them and move
visions
on.
Predict failure. Master of cruelty.
Aron Carr is getting... Well, they're not doing too bad.
Yes.
Should we reach on out to Karan Carr and make some deals, or should we wait a bit
Awaiting command.
until they're a bit more desperate, willing to give us some more money? Got a balance up north. Yeah. You're still dealing with all that bad air quality. Have a good night there, Common. Appreciate you making it on into the stream. Here in about 8 minutes, I'm going to jump up, go grab some water, refill our snacks, and we shall continue the slaughter. Yeah, for now, we'll go ahead and we'll wait. We'll let Shikara get a bit more desperate before we steal some gold from her. Right. Crone Hellebron is now disciplinary, and here they go, yeah. Oh, is he gonna go right after, Nagaroth here? They're not ready. An evil choir master. The Adagio will literally tear your heart out. Idle in a region with a residence building. +6 control, awesome. Stricken out hearts. For the Dark Elves, war is transactional. For Druki blood to be spilled, there must be payment. Form of loot, preferably. 10% more post-battle loot and more income from raiding. Come on into our research now. Or piracy. We're simply grabbing that one for the extra post-battle loot. We're going to come on into Founded on Tyranny and go for the continuous slave supply. These are all pretty good here. Revel in Suffering gives you an additional growth too. All those first ones are pretty solid. We don't even really need to worry about marching to war just yet, simply because that goes for buffs that aren't. This is just of Slaughter and company. One Volal stayed put, huh? Interesting strategy. See what pays off for you.
My blades thirst.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. He's got cold one. She's got cold one chariots. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to the auto resolve.
Glorious
Up to you.
blood for
We will
all.
go ahead and enslave them.
Bind them tight.
Thank you for bringing me your things, peasants. This one lives for the day when the last High Elf dies screaming in agony upon Kane's altar. Causes fear when fighting against High Elves. We're getting ready. Got ourselves the Whip of Misery as well. Nice. As the caster utters a forbidden name, her enemies are racked with waves of misery. Real sad. The Whip of Sadness. We don't have any spellcasters in this army just yet, so we'll move on towards Dagoth here. Dartmouth.
Chill-hearted.
They have some proper fights soon. Let's go ahead and grab the last point in Reddit slaver there. 25% more casualties captured. Likely we'll go for Infamous Raider next, too. Elven Healing, and then Renowned and Feared. Doesn't give you any more casualties captured, like some of the others with, said Chorfs and Chaos, but that's just fine. Upkeep drop is always useful. Strength through Spite. Extra melee attack in the area around her. That is awesome. And then Kindle the Fury. Attack as well as more weapon damage. Yes, please.
I am Cain's instrument.
Like that. Zareth, we should have plenty of gold to come on up to grab the Palace of Pain, but before we do, how much gold for Argonath? 4,000, we just have to wait 4 turns. Alright. Does that mean we should go for possibly an upgrade on one of these other two? Cinnabar mining gives us just some dye and some income. I think we'll just wait. It's either way it'll take 4 to put in the Dark Hold. Zareth, you'll come on up and use your gold on the Palace of Ruin here. And we can start recruiting you in kind of some basic troops.
I demand loyalty.
It's not yet, we'll have
What
to wait
is
till
your dark purpose?
the manners are in.
Blood Queen
They
of
don't fight for nothing after all.
Cruel Dreadlord.
Alright. And next turn we'll have to make sure we actually kick off the sacrifice to Cain, because we've forgotten several times now.
Black-hearted.
Deepwood Citadel. I actually don't want to give you too many deals here, because I kind of want you guys to lose sooner rather than later. They are down to their last settlement, though, so how much gold are you willing to give me?
What dark and callous plans do you wish to lay before me?
What dark and callous plans?
Noble born.
None ya. Is the answer.
I feel
Yeah, I
Cain's
think
gift.
while we could increase our overall numbers, simply replacing the dark shards we have with guys with shields, silver shields, is
Glory
a
to
really
Cain.
good use of our time here. I'd rather not do it later on. Now rather than later. Good deal of extra labor. Let's go ahead and use them to increase our overall growth here with a lovely slave drive. Utimus. And turn.
We honor you, Cain.
Fires in Canada cause some smoke to come on down by you as well. That's no good. I'm luckily down south enough that I'm not near it, but I know that a bunch of our viewers here have been affected, and people obviously besides. It's no good. Hopefully you all have been staying safe. Ooh, the Purge. The debauched and murderous death knight is upon us. The Hag Queens descend, vicious and desperate for sacrifice. Maybe we could appease them through a donation. Offer them flesh or refuse their demands. Alright, well. It's booty for the Hag Queens. Quest issued, Amulet of Dark Fire. Capture and occupy the Shrine of Cain, huh? Alright, Cain is pleased by the endless killing orchestrated by the Blood Queen. It is no secret that through the greatest of the bloody-handed god's gifts has not yet been secured. That's true, we don't have the sword yet. It is time for Hellebron to gather her most vicious sisters, thralls. Occupy the Shrine of Cain. Only then will the Amulet of Dark Fire ignite. So does she have weapons?
I will
Cain,
see
right?
to it.
Death Sword and the Cursed Blade. So we want someone else to be coming with her to gain the Sword of Cain, then? We'll just give it to Crone Hellebron herself.
Mistress of
I like making sure they
Argonath.
have their set bonuses. To not get them makes me sad. Okay, we can't reach Dargoth. I do some raiding then.
Take it all, Crowd. Moving out. On the move.
Do we get more raiding gold? Oh, interestingly enough. Well, to maximize, we just won't do this turn. Which maybe getting a bit of gold and a hefty grip of slaves. No more slave dictats for 5 more turns. How long till we get... Ooh, we would actually prolong quite quickly.
Powerful enchantress.
Could use some slaves to quickly build this, and I think we will. spice mark. Very nice, just for the small grip of gold. Wouldn't have to worry so much about upgrading the area in 13 turns. I think otherwise, if we don't have the extra manners, this is going to take forever to upgrade. So let's go for the manners. And I will not speed that up. It takes a turn. That's no problem.
Cruel sorceress.
A couple spearmen. Just 2 will work. Just something to kind of hold the fort down and kind of ping pong between Quark and the Palace of Ruin if we need to. Capturing the Glacial Gardens is not of much importance, because if we do that, it'll invite Volkia's ire. She doesn't like to claim settlements. This one's obviously probably one that she's claimed because, but unless it's a capital, they tend to not chaos. They tend to raise and move on.
I am Cain's instrument.
All right.
Noble of
Our
Nagaron.
Ankar is getting much more likely to give us a deal. There we go.
Welcome. Speak, if you would.
Gross. But I have a lot of gold. I'm happy to trade for a few turns.
Agreeable.
Skilled diplomat. Let's let you get bullied for a bit. Probably could have let that go a bit further, but we can start to trade up now. Allow us to at least maybe confederate with them later on, so we don't have to worry about it. And a ton. Not as bad as being in a fire. That's fair. Always gotta look at the upsides. Breathing in a little bit of smoke, you know, never as bad as being fully on fire. That's very fair. Ah, Sporticus and the Guzzler are here. That's a lot of units. So Reth is loyal again. And it looks like Sporticus is ready to go. Okay, well then we go after Negrar then and ignore him. Are we able to? Not quite. Can we go into an ambush? And indeed. Alright, Hellebron.
Seeking victims.
Is there a higher chance for ambush in the forest here? Why not? It's a forest.
A chill wind blows.
Alright, well. Let's pull back just enough where we can hit Dargoth next turn if they pull away.
Fine.
But also, well, we're gonna get hit by both units either way. They can move quite a ways.
Bloody-handed
No problem.
priestess.
We don't quite have enough goons to sacrifice to Cain though now.
Black arm.
Unfortunate. And we'll deal. It's like Blood Knight's starting to kind of run on out too. Where's their voyage? You don't actually get to see them, so once they're out of your line of sight, they're gone. Hopefully they're out causing all sorts of problems for us down there in the south. Forest spending gold. Probably hold off for now. Alright, we'll move on through. It is cold. Come on, orcs. Fall for my ambush. I'll give you a cookie. Maybe a cookie made of murder, but it'll be a cookie just for you. Hey, we did it. And we ambushed the army I wanted to. I mean, geez, this is a nasty force, isn't it? 2 sets of black orcs there. 2 night goblin squig hoppers, and even in a Ragnarok spider, we can blast the Ragnarok with arrows pretty quickly. If any of those squigs get away from the fight, we'll be in a bit of trouble. Alright, let's dive into the ambush. In but a mere moment, I am going to jump up and I'll grab a bit more of this delicious cold brew I've been sipping on. You all run and grab some more snacks and some drinks if you need them. We'll meet back in about 5. I just realized our horse is... What happened? Hellebron, you're supposed to feed them. We'll be back. Alright, welcome on back. Hope you all have gained some snackages. I grabbed some, we ran to Bass Pro earlier, so I grabbed some very sours while I was there. Fantastic old-timey treat. That cluster of words together is as old-timey as it gets. Oh, she braided, I just realized she did also braid its hair. So, not feeding it, but making sure it is nice and fancy. Perfect. Alright, Sporticus, this is definitely one of the scarier armies we've faced off with. Those black orcs are nasty, nasty characters. Definitely want to make sure our crossbows can blast them to bits after we deal with the Ragnarok. Okay, so we have a bit of a... See, but the problem is, do our crossbows have enough range? They just barely don't. Oh, hang on, no, they're just gonna clip it. Okay, that'd be a waste. Then, where is the next best opportunity to blast away? Probably here.
We are ready.
We'll have Hellebron and the Death Hag. With the Death Hag starting the fight, Hellebron flanking. I'm going to put Red Spears across this front line here.
We are ready.
Hopefully you are. It's going to be a bad time for you guys. Operation Red Spear Slaughter. You guys are spread out in a weird way. Just need to make sure we can blanket the Black Orcs in Doom and then switch over to that Ragnarok. Ragnarok's going to be a problem. It shouldn't actually get through our line that quickly, especially since we're going to throw in some Witch Elves behind. Witch Elves add some Rampage and some other goodies to that list. You two in the back here. And then the Hargadeth Executioners. We need to make sure that a unit is shutting down those Doom Divers. But you two, you have yourself a very difficult but job you can handle. Executioners, slaughter, we're gonna get as far as we can. Problem is they're gonna be fighting against the Ragnarok spiders too, aren't they? Well, I'm gonna change my entire battle strategy up on the fly. Move everyone around to around this position. Force the orcs to move through our gun line still. Like almost something like this. There we go. And then instead of having you guys in the back, we'll pull them up to the top. Reorganize a bit there. There we go. This will allow us to deal maximum damage to all of his squigs and other cavalry units, and even the Ragnarok. Let the orcs kind of file on over slow. There we go. That looks a little bit better there. Let's throw the Executioners up top in the woods.
Agreed.
Like so. Death Hag, I'm gonna also throw you up in the woods. We are gonna still have you two try to hunt down the enemy lord there. Alright. Get croned, everyone. Hey, Brian, welcome on in. Won't be able to stick around, but nice to see this surprise happening. Fair enough. Second favorite Druki doing your thing. Who's your first favorite? Is it Malekith? Are you a Malekith enjoyer?
Cold-blooded killers. Dark shards.
Sure, it's a bit. really sad they don't have enough range for me to put up on the hill properly.
Druki! Dark shards! The merciless host! The merciless host!
There we go. Still, they have to move up on us a bit before we can actually fire, but we'll see. These black orcs may choose to just run. Get it started.
Bringers of death.
Kill everything!
The laughing is fantastic.
Dread spears!
Red spears move up.
Mothers of murder.
Oh yeah, blanket of death. Awesomite squigs.
Dread spears!
Enjoy doom.
High priestess.
Bleak swords!
Bleak swords are in a perfect spot.
Destruction!
Gotta hang out. Looks like the squigs are meeting death pretty quickly. Let's go after the Arachnorok then. They are fighting Night Gobos. It's gonna be a bit of a tough fight there. Hellebron, it looks like the Black Orcs are gonna try to stay in the way. Weakness incarnate. Help them deal with that nonsense there. The Witch Elves are getting run over pretty hard, but we pretty well destroyed the Arachnorok. Elf Bar drained. Well, let's help out with these Squig Herd first. You guys working together should run them right over. In there, Hellebron. Bring the Executioners down.
Glorious destruction!
Very well. Brides of
Oh, actually, here comes the, let's bring you all back. They move very quickly. Let's get them back in the woods. The very weakened Witch Elves need to come back behind the line.
To destruction!
Make them dance. Make them dance.
Dark shards!
Bring the Dark Shards up around, and this last group of Dark Shards is just moving forward. Where are you guys at?
Dark elves! Merciless warriors!
Hey,
Dark shards!
you guys come out. Charge on in. You need to get on away from this nonsense here. We get an area effect damage around all these Black Orcs, but we'd still rather she not take too much damage herself.
Dread spears! Dark shards!
Start blasting apart these Orc boys here. You need to scoot back. I don't know why you're so far forward.
To destruction!
Rip them apart. He's fighting Squigs as well, which is not great. Come on out, help out your Death Hag there. Drop down to the Gaze of Cain. Probably over here with the Death Hag once we get a bit closer ourselves.
Dread spears!
Witch elves.
Witch Elves, come on back in. We're going to lose a lot of Witch Elves. Run, 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 run.
On to slaughter!
Go ahead and drop down the
Execute!
Bloody Mist of Cain. Those Witch Elves take a lot of damage. I think they've got like 3... We're gonna say they have 3 armor. It's closer to 30, but it feels like 3.
Dark shards!
Have you two blast apart this group of arrow boys that's coming on over. Keep moving back. Go ahead and you can fill in the gaps for a moment. And we'll have these 2 spearmen, or at least these Witch Elves here, move on in. Which will allow you guys to go after those Black Orcs.
Onwards to murder!
Perfect. Onwards to murder. They rip through these groups. Oh, don't run already. That's weakness. Back up. Please don't accidentally get slaughtered by our archers. Perfect. Hellebron, you can run down. Well, honestly, we can leave Sporticus as is and try to chase down the rest of his troops here instead.
Indeed.
Dark shards! Massacre them!
We're about out of range. See if you can take down those Doom Divers. Another way over there.
Blood for
That's
Cain!
fine. We'll have our actual troops chase them off then. Black Orcs are always dangerous. Archers, you just go ahead and dash around.
Elves!
You will never catch up with any of them. You guys try to chase? No, not the Squig Herd. That's not worth it.
By all means. King's fury.
Speaking of not worth it, Hellebron, you go after this Squig herd, and we'll speed things up. It'd still take a good deal of damage, but it was limited to the Witch Elves, which I think they replenish pretty quickly. They ripped apart the Black Orcs once we actually caught them. Cage breakers have been broken. Alright, Hellebron, let's go see if you can take down these Arrow boys here. Give yourself the Gaze of Cain once you get too close. You should run them over very quickly. Hopefully. Gather the new servants. They run slightly, but they work hard. And not bad. She launched a couple of these guys into orbit in this here. This poor dude. He thought he was going to remain a free orc. Not today. Actually, now that our crossbows have those shields, the silver shields, we can deploy them a bit more frontally than normal. And have them be a bit more like a gun line then. And kind of everyone else moving up on the flanks. So if anyone chooses to charge directly at them, they'll get flanked. We'll let Hellebron and the Death Hag be our center. To go along with our crossbows. Should go pretty well. Or we can upgrade Hellebron for the fight with Volkia, the better. We need to bring down Volkia before we leave. And go after the Shrine of Cain. The Cage Breakers were really, really wounded there. All of the most important units dealt with, except for the Doombabber catapults. They broke and ran very early on. We will go ahead and enslave this group as well.
Bring me my chains.
A lot of replenishment. Bring me my chains. He's a tricky guzzler. Wonder how one gets that title. Extra leadership when fighting against greenskins. The greenskins savages deserve no mercy.
Mistress of Arganeth.
Ooh, what is witch brew? Distilled from the blood of Hag Queens, this evil brew drives the imbibers into an ecstasy of destruction. Oh, even more rampage. We can kind of drop that on whoever we want. Or is this on just herself? Greater Ward of Cain. Yeah, let's go for the witch brew. Second Cauldron. Why stop at 1 when you can have 2? We already get 3. Why stop at 1 when you can get 5? Let's grab. I thought the Whip of Misery was already applied. There you go, Loris. Enjoy the whip. Evil Choir Master on Zareth there.
Behold my beauty.
Behold. Extra Impassioned. The 51 melee defense. No slouch.
Bewitching.
Alright, Crone. Onward to slaughter. Ooh, before we do, let's go ahead and kick in that right. Before we forget. Sacrifice to Cain. Yoink. And I'm guessing we just gave 500 of our servants freedom. Welcome. You have a dark elf now.
Excellent.
Alright, so the defenses of Dargoth appear to be very weak. And we've got the Dark Conduit, which drops 100% of your vigor, but then will explode the area. It doesn't affect friendly troops. You can just drop this on any of your spearmen, then fall them, then retreat them from the main lines so they don't take too much damage. Does everyone get this? 3 uses. I mean, that's more than enough. Let's get in there. Actually, the most dangerous units being these nasty skulkers. For the first bit, or they actually fight pretty well in melee because they deal a lot of damage out, and most of it being armor piercing. So we'll want to try to blanket them and fire pretty heavily here. Let's get to it. We're going to definitely be fighting most of these early battles. They are too much fun. Just watching the orcs get bled. Plus, things are about to get much more dangerous for Crone Hellebron around here. Have the fun while we can. Alright, Brides of Cain. Let's get to slaughtering these orcs. They all deploy at once. I think what we will do is have our crossbows take this position where it's kind of clear. We'll have them march straight up into this kind of section here. And then let them blanket death upon those goblin archers once they move up. We'll have our witch elves.
Witch elves.
And then the Sisters of Slaughter. Taking this side. One unit of the spears.
If you wish.
Somebody who's already deployed. We'll have the Death Hag go with them. Hellebron. Your job is to chase off that war boss. So let's have you deploy up front with our crossbows. We'll have the Hargoneth Executioners.
Skilled murderesses.
Have them rolling with some of the more weakened witch elves. They can kind of roll this flank a bit easier.
Druki.
Throw one unit of spearmen in behind.
We are ready.
Put another unit over here. Hold those two flanks.
Witch elves.
Units in reserve.
Bleak swords.
Alright then. The normies.
Dealers of death.
The lead infantry. Crossbows. And the ladies. That'll begin. Oh, as quick as you can, Hellebron, go past. Everyone else, get on forward.
Hag. If I must.
If you must. Well, I said you should, so that's all the must you need.
Blood for Cain. Dealers in death.
Spreading despair.
Alright, Hellebron, let's go ahead and...
Lead me. Dealing death.
And there's the nasty skulkers.
Now.
Executioners. It is done. Dread spears.
Alright, let's go ahead and start ripping apart these individual groups. I would like to just try to go through the line and go after the archers in the back. Not always the case that we're able to do, but we'll go for it.
Eager for battle.
Not letting me select these guys. There we go.
Spears. Onwards to murder.
Darkness come.
Get on away from the nasty skulkers there.
Hear me.
You guys blanket those goblin archers in doom.
Understood. Hack, dart.
Hellebron.
Hellebron can do the same.
Offer blood.
I thought I had someone else in the woods there. Oh, there we go. Witch elves go on through. We can do the dark conduit on... I say these dread spears here are pretty in danger. 3, 2, let everyone all clump up and doom. Pretty chunky damage. We'll have the dreads, or the elite swords come in quickly to fill in those gaps.
Femme fatale. Slaughter.
Druki.
All
Alright,
shall
Hellebron, come on away for... Actually, we just dropped down the rampage. She's going nowhere. All the extra buffs, throw them down.
Hellfry.
By your command. Battle ready.
She's going crazy.
Dread spears.
Extra melee attack we've got right now is insane on her. 126 attack. Every hit should be easily landing.
Death hag.
Bring the hag back as well. We've run over most of the normal orcs. They're getting absolutely shallotted.
Dread spears.
Bring the dread spears back a bit.
Merciless warriors.
We can let them kind of blanket doom upon it. This poor fool here.
Sethai. Mothers of murder.
Druki. Advancing.
There we go. That's proper damage.
Hellebron.
The merciless host.
Death hag. It will be.
Death Hag, come on in and help us deal with the tricky war boss there, and in fact drop a net on him. Oh, 'cause he must be a large entity. Fair enough.
Executioners.
Here we go, there's the win.
Hellebron.
As Brian said, get croned. Who gets the golden sword this time? Which witch elf team? Looks like it is this one. Silver chevron starting to show up though. Very nice. We need all of the veterancy and all of the elite troops for what's coming. Hopefully Volkia hasn't got too lucky with her experience gain and overall units that deploy from her warbands. And while this is the prophecy of Sotek, so it says here, I would like this to be a hint that we are going to get the Vermin Lords, perhaps at some point. This is just maybe some flavor text about the Skaven, but Vermin Lords would be awesome. Lots of slaves. We only lost 210. We shall replenish that no problem, especially as we will loot and occupy. And Hellebron is upon her cauldron of blood. We shall be giving her that mount kind of sparingly, as it is very, very slow. Very tanky, hard to bring down. Lots of damage dealt, but very slow. We've got our Hellebron Eye. Disciplined and merciless. It is a pleasure to watch the Hellebron Eye work. And we've also got the Crows of Cain. Flying manifestations of Cain himself. Swoop down from above, feasting upon their prey with fiery vengeance.
Mistress of Hag
And well, if any of them, we're going to add in the Hellebron Eye very soon. They're just kind of dread spears with a bit more. I think they have a smidge more in terms of combat stats. They've got poison attacks. What do the Crows of Cain have? Crow Feast. They replenish health as long as they're in melee. Nice. And all those are Cainite units. They would belong nicely with Crone Hellebron. We'll save them for when we actually do make contact with Volkia.
Sorceress of Grant.
Supreme Sorceress of... not Gron. Arganeth. Though we are not...
Murderess.
do rank 10. I don't think I did a very good job of saving the skills, but we do get to at least grab the Champion of Cain and come on over. I think we'll just grab the playthings of the Queen. The loyalty for new recruits increase, income from slaves increase, and then extra casualties captured by 35%. Sweet.
Chill-hearted.
Now we can choose between the three here. So we can go for Cry of War, allowing her to get more leadership, more charge bonus up to 55, and then causing fear, the ability to cause fear. A Rune of Cain. And they brand you right on the forehead. That's unfortunate. Apparently it makes you angry, gives you more melee attack and more weapon strength. Or you give yourself the Witch Brew, which is just the same but better. Sure, you only get to use it 3 times, but come on now. Oh, Witch Brew. The maximum amount of crazy mist possible. Yeah, we don't really need to recruit anymore at the moment. I guess Valkia or Sigvald, either one.
Mother of the Dark Convent.
Spears. I'm actually thinking we do tempt fate and come on over to grab the Glacial Gardens.
Dark Seeress.
We have to take attrition either way. Sad.
Kati.
Let's move on over. She's incredibly vulnerable.
No rest.
As we
Ever closer.
go into March stance and make her even more so. We'll be able to grab the Glacial Gardens next turn then. Arganeth, ready to upgrade up to the Dark Tower. Love to see it. We actually, speed this along. Ooh, we absolutely could. We can't spend them on anything else, so let's grease the wheels of industry with blood. Okay, yeah, no, we can go for probably a good idea to get in the walls. And getting in the Black Roads now would be awesome. The garrison of Arganeth is really not anything to write home about. Do we want to prioritize the Sisters of Slaughter or the Death Hag and Canine Assassin? I think the additional heroes are going to be a good call. Plus, this will also keep our corruption in check. We'll be able to have 4 Death Hags. Yeah, let's go for the Shrine of Cain. We can honestly do both just fine. So since we're not under any threat from Grond just yet, they like us for now. We will upgrade the Halls of Ravaging first. Get to the Ravaging. Hey everyone, I'm trying not to go bankrupt as the dwarves. Fair enough. Have a good night there, generic name. Appreciate you for stopping on by the stream.
Unparalleled.
Alright. I mean, I'd like to spend some more gold, but really the next thing I want is the walls here at Harganeth, just to keep things safe. Let's save a bit of labor for now. If we gain more from the next fight, enough that we can kind of grab this next turn where it's not quite as expensive. And plus, we get any skills in with Hellebron herself. No, these are all actual military, which is fine. I'd prefer that, in fact.
Cain's
Give you the sword,
priestess.
the shield of Tolos. Armor of Destiny is going to be awesome for Crone Hellebron.
Bloody-handed
Good.
priestess.
Picks up Dargoth here. Artisan's House, I think we will remove. And then we'll end the turn. Looks like our first battle is likely to be... I don't know if we want to start a fight with Sigvald yet. He will have 2 Dark Fortresses, as opposed to Volkia's just 1. So likely we'll bring our other Sorceress on down just to kind of keep an eye on Sigvald. Even see if we can get a non-aggression with him, perhaps. Start as you mean to go on, and your population will never know what they may be missing. Founded on tyranny. Don't quite reach, so let's come on out and do a bit more replenish, or a bit more recruiting even. Oh, we get his spearman over here. I would rather not. Raiding it is.
Mayhem and madness.
Such a terrifying.
White shall
This is a
be red.
honestly a huge target as well. So anytime we're fighting against units or armies that don't have a lot of missile troops, we'll go ahead and keep her on her Blood Cauldron. But the second we go up against guys with a whole bunch of missiles, we'll probably switch her over to the Manticore once we actually acquire that. Right, not any gold to add in. What I would like to, torture posts. That's honestly not that much control. And you lose a lot of slaves.
Sorceress. Behold.
I just
true
complained about not having
power.
enough gold. How much is it to resettle?
Ever
He'll tell me when I get closer. Ooh, don't have enough.
calling the winds.
We'll just do some raiding then, perhaps. You drop your slaves basically. Right.
Marauding.
Get a few, I guess.
True power.
We'll just increase her
unleashed.
magic and kind of back up
It
a
is
bit.
done.
If Volkia decides that she doesn't like us, things will go south very quickly.
Corruption of the vilest sort.
Yes, grab the obsidian core here at Dargoth. Dog off. I will go ahead and spend the slaves to increase, or to grab our Shrine of Cain. That will let us grab in a new hero.
Upon us.
We've got Masters, we've got Canine Assassins, we've got Death Hags. She is cruel, giving us more income from sacking and raiding. Tactician or Strong, Alyssa Strong, armor. I think they already have poisonous attacks, so grabbing one that is cunning is not very useful. Unless you want the extra ambush chance. Let's grab Colin in here. He's got a missile attack as well. Pretty mean missile attack. very short-range hand crossbow, but you can kind of sneak him in behind and blast away. We'll grab Koladin, the fleet-footed, straighter and extra speedy. Cool. Bring him on over to join Crone Hellebron's force. Can afford another Death Hag, we will. Bequish the Cruel. Let's grab Alyssa the Strong.
Speaker of secrets.
Speaker of Secrets, Ripper of Souls. Our income's pretty hurting now. We need to make some more gold back. For our next bit of research, I think we will want to just get more casualties captured post-battle. Maximize that as much as we can. We'll grab Revel and Suffering after. Then we can go for hopefully have enough gold for the first set of upgrades. We also have to have Driven by Vengeance, huh? Okay. Fair enough.
I knew unequal.
Trade with Grond, huh? Looks like Grond's being wiped out slowly. How does Nagaron feel about Grond? Treaties with Kar and Kar they don't like. Gifts given to Grond, or given to Nagaron.
Seek powerful sorceress.
Ooh, let's start trading with Caladriel
You
for now.
would do well to kneel before me.
Oh, we might be able to actually get a confederation with her pretty quickly. So you know what? We'll grab the military alliance. As much as I would rather not. We'll take all your gold. We can use as much as we can. We'll grab the confederation as soon as we can.
Overlord.
Unless Malekith does first. We'll see.
The goal.
Yes.
I'm gonna just
Unparalleled
not.
power.
My least favorite lord in the game is down here. Silostra. Alright, we almost are getting enough gold. I think our next fight we should have more than enough to
Priestess.
recolonize the settlements. Turn then. Rag the leg biter.
Cain abhors
Well,
diplomacy.
hello, Galadriel.
Unless it
You want me to
leads
join your war
war
against Velkia? That's a good deal of gold. I'd like to try to remain out of that war for now, though. That's a lot of gold. This will mean we'll definitely want to try to stave off Sigvald if we can, although we may not be able to. That's a tough call. Let's decline. We don't have the armies to actually cover our entire territory. The Blood Voyage has been wiped out. Well, hopefully they did some damage before they went. Looks like they,
Even the Lawmaster could not.
looks like they came on in and hit the Phoenix Gate and did nothing from there. That's fine, I guess. Maybe hopefully they pushed some of the fools back. We'll soon see. Blood Voyage ends. The Blood Voyage has met its end. As expected, it is only in death that these blood-crazed murderers cease their quest for murder. With their last breaths, their victims must have lamented their very existence. To you, their madness is nothing but benefit. The loot they accumulated from battle now passes on to you. 803. Oh, not bad.
With a heartless
Let's actually have Alyssa come on back over and scout.
I will.
Good to hear. Pull it in. You can try to come on over and roll with Crone Hellebron. Why that direction? When there was a perfectly good bridge to go across. Did you do that just so you could moan about it later? Just complain.
Behold my.
Alright, leg biter. Prepare to meet your end.
Fill my cauldron.
Fill my cauldron. Pyrrhic victory, it says. I mean, they do have some biggins. Biggins are just bigger targets for our crossbow bolts. Is this one inside of a settlement? That's what is making this one a bit more difficult for us, supposedly. Indeed. We've already broken them here before. Onward to slaughter. It's another case of we'll see how, just how deadly the cage breakers truly are. Auto Resolve seems to think they're quite dangerous. Alright, I think we're going to attack him from the same kind of angle, but I'm going to send the crossbows up here so they can blanket a bit more of the enemy settlement. So we set them on up and we'll spread them out a lot more. Even though they do have those shields, I still don't want them up front. I would rather have the Dread Spears taking that damage, so we'll have one unit of Dread Spears up front. Completely up front. We'll have Crone Hellebron rolling with them. We will have to realize that she is on this beautiful shrine now, and will be a huge target.
The rune of Cain shall burn bright.
And is she awesome? Cauldron full of blood. We shall be filling that as the battle carries on. Make Cain proud. This heart actually beats as you go on.
The strong take what they want.
Do the thing. Maybe not. Be cool if it beats as you do damage.
Druki,
The merciless host.
Spread you boys out just a little bit.
dark shards.
Probably be a 2-and-2 kind of thing. And then we'll have Witch Elves moving up with them.
Witch elves.
Very quick, very deadly. We'll have Spearmen. Make sure we grab the units that are already deployed. Ah. Spearmen and Witch Elves working in tandem here.
Eager for battle.
We'll have the Sisters of Slaughter moving up this direction.
We
This is
are
going to be
ready.
kind of contingent on what the enemy does as well. We'll do Sisters of Slaughter with the Bleak Swords.
Bleak swords.
Hag Queen will come with them.
Very well. Bringers of death. Mothers
Or
of
the Hag
murder.
Queen. The Death Hag.
Mothers of murder.
You three will have to have... Well, I would like to attack the other portion of the settlement as well. I just don't think that's a very good idea. What we'll do is we'll have the Executioners run central, and then these two will go with the other group. So we'll have these Spearmen.
Dread spears.
Extra Dread Spears to fill the gaps in and stay back.
Witch elves.
Bringers of death.
There we go. Then you guys can join up with Group 2 here.
Ever ready.
Ever ready, huh? I guess you are all elves.
Merciless
Ever
warriors.
ready.
Seeking blood.
These guys moving on in.
Executioners.
Witch elves.
Been playing too much wood elves.
By all means.
By all means.
Dread spears.
Red Spears just move up and take this position here. Are getting shot in the side by that tower, which is a bit annoying, but they'll deal.
Boil.
Suffering for all.
The sisters walk into the fight. Same thing here. Oh, interesting.
Dark shards.
Pulled them to fire, they decided to walk in and do nothing.
Fight
And bold
Cain.
strategy.
Slay them.
I am death.
Look at her go. We'll drop in the Web of Shadows. We can drop in also the Fury of Cain.
Blood.
Wherever we want. Let's go for Witch Brew first.
Lord of murder.
Oh, I'm wrong. Just to give it to someone else. Oh, let's go ahead and go for these Dread Spears here then. Rampage out. Go get them, boys.
By Drakira.
Skilled murderess.
You run. Have you two run as well. In there and break them.
Spears. Bleak swords. Merciless warriors.
Completely ignore what you were previously doing and go after these orc boys and such. One can take down a tower, I think, pretty quickly. Just hope so.
Blooded killers.
At least we hope so. How's the Blood Shrine doing? I think pretty well. Give it some even more charging speed. You guys deal with this group. The Witch Elves can come in.
Slaughter. Cain's wrath.
Drop down the Gaze of Cain. These witch elves are having a bit of a trouble there, but we'll take a bit of casualties, that's just fine. Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. On through the line there. Death Hag's fighting with Gabos, which makes me frown, but go ahead and Witch Brew up. Should rip through them pretty quickly. Good grief, she's a nightmare.
Guided by Cain.
Go ahead and hit this platform next.
The merciless host.
She is the end.
Dark shards. Without question.
And lo,
Die, weaklings.
the end's name was Hellebron.
Battle ready. Druki.
Move these Druki up to claim the position. We'll have the spearmen take
Going.
this gap here.
On to slaughter.
And in fact, we'll have these crossbows kind of move up and help out with
Dealers in
Twigs.
death. With pleasure.
Destruction.
Our units are moving all over the place.
Dealers.
Being a bit funky. Could have ripped through that group, no problem. I'll just kill these orc boys, please.
Ruination.
Drop the melee attack on those Squig Hoppers as they come in. And if they surround, we'll just blow them up.
Hellebron.
Oh, Witch Brew for Hellebron. Actually surprised we haven't gotten enough kills to activate our murderous prowess. Get those whips whirling. We's better than them. They thought to say before now that the cauldron of blood is covered. I mean, her charge is very similar to that of a mammoth. No, it's not to say you look like a mammoth, Hellebron. Don't hurt us. Those witch elves up front took a lot of damage. Well, actually, the fact that these orcs are rampage is a problem. Get out of this slow-mo. What am I doing?
Dread spears.
I'll have the stronger unit come on in after these gobos, and that works out. I mean, those guys are taking a lot of damage.
Hellebron.
The sisters come on over and grab this position here.
The merciless
They're shooting their own units with the crossbows.
Forward. Dark shards.
Love to see it.
By Cain.
Death Hag. Sowing turmoil.
Pull back.
Oh, they got the explosion off. They just did. They took a lot of damage in the process. We're gonna have to do some re-recruiting. These witch elves should survive. Heavy emphasis on should.
To destruction. Nagarothi.
Bring Hellebron in.
Of course.
Death Hag, go hunt down the war boss. Go ahead and kick in the Witch Brew to help out.
Trickery and deception.
Kill them.
You guys can just work together. We'll have one of these units of crossbows come in and take this position. You move up, deal with those orc arrow boys.
At once.
Come on, capture that point faster.
Hellebron.
Fury of Cain for the Witch Elves, although they're a bit far away, aren't they? He's gonna have to turn around.
Hellebron.
That's okay. We'll take a bit of arrows.
Witch elves.
On to slaughter.
You guys can just completely ignore that.
We are ready.
Bring these Dread
Forward.
Spears in to this position here. She is taking a bit of damage. She's rampaged out though, so I can't really pull her back just yet.
Hellebron.
Hellebron just charged in. Ignore the archers. We'll have the sisters deal with them. Gotta assist the squad. And charge in she does. That's proper. Start ripping.
Battle ready. Dark elves.
They've captured the point. Bring them on in. Hunt down these arrow boys.
Battle ready.
It got scary there for a moment. Well, it didn't get scary, but we got lost a few of our units, which is unfortunate. Hopefully the Witch Elves can survive. Perfect. Crunch. I jumped over to YouTube for a moment just to check to see our overall count, because OBS doesn't show me too many of the stats of the stream. Up to 9, pretty good amount. Glad to see you all in. Don't usually have 9 on this late, so welcome and thanks for keeping in and hanging out for this long. Appreciate it. Gold sword there, definitely going to Hellebron. On the chariot, she rips and tears. Our blood hag just took a little bit of damage since she was dueling with a big boss. Mother Astankia will get you. That's what my old babushka would say. Well, everyone survived, which means they shall be able to replenish. Awesome. They lost 381. Not too bad. I wish it would have been spread out a little bit more, but we'll make do. For our sack, the cage breakers have been destroyed. Sent back to the cages. Factor. When your rulers consider themselves above such low professions, where there is money to be made for the wily merchant. Or there is money to be made for the wily merchant. For more income from trade tariffs, faction-wide. Legbiter has been crunched, and we now own ourselves almost a new province. We'll get to working on that. Let's throw in the Woodsman Hut is awesome. You have to keep in mind we are close now to Norscan raiders as well as the forces of chaos. I'd like to see him get into a fight with someone else.
Proposal, yes? Good. I do so hate murderers.
Lord of Fear.
What? Speak.
We'll deal with Sigvald. I think it's probably a good idea to jump him first. Problem is,
High Priestess.
find out, won't we? Secrets of the Cauldron gives her 12% more hit points. Well, I think that's great, but I think I may have missed out on one of these before. Daughters of Despair is probably the best call. Make sure that our Witch Elves and Sisters and Hargonath Executioners are fighting as well as they can. We'll probably grab Rapturous Murder next time.
You have my blades.
For Loruus, we'll give you now. Probably the point over into Soothsaying would be good if you had a bunch of extra debuffs you were deploying, but for now, you don't. So Wild-Eyed works. Awesome.
Bloody-handed Priestess.
I'm very thankful we didn't lose any because we wouldn't be able to recruit anything in besides the spears here. Hey Evan, welcome on in. Good to have you. You were coming up on the end of tonight's stream. We'll be going ahead and, I guess not the end, yeah, we got about 30 more minutes in. I was going to say we're going to end probably about 1 a.m. Central, so that's about 30 more minutes from now. Glad to have you. We are crashing on through here with Hellebron. We had a bit of a slow start, but we are running over everyone at the moment. Sending some of our heroes on over to scout out what Valkia's got going on. We've got basically Chaos champions on either side. We have to figure out which one we're going to fight first. Getting into a brawl with Valkia. I want to wait until she's at war with Nagron. So likely we will come on in and get into a fight with Sigvald.
Supreme sorceress.
Areth, you come on in and grab the Glacial Gardens here.
Calling the wind.
Securing the Frigid Wasteland. Filling it with murderous ladies.
Chosen of Hecate.
Quite expensive to resettle areas like this. Grab the increased slave production quota. And I am tempted to go ahead and increase or instantly complete this one. So we can start building right away. Spending the gold on the slave gate here is also a fantastic idea. It gives us the Shadows of Onlek ability, which is just a bit of a breath spell. Any kind of demons or marauders that Valkia or any of the others are fielding will get ripped apart. It'll also give us a nice garrison. I guess this is the main job of that building. I'm gonna go ahead and instantly finish this. Beautiful.
Peerless.
And I will instantly finish the Glacial Gardens building as well. For a mere 450. It's expensive, but we'll spend it, and I'm going to come on over and grab the artisan's house, take a bit more gold. Could drop in another slave drive, or even have the open markets. It costs 400 for a single turn. Well, I am tempted to grab the Death Knight now. Start overwhelming folks with armies of crazies. Let's come on over back to the Spite Reach, upgrade it up to the next tier, so we can get the wine merchants on in. Good business. And then we'll go ahead and increase overall growth here with the Dictats, or do we have to fight to the death? Let's increase growth. We could do so in both places.
What do you seek?
Be pretty good. We won't have the slaves for any kind of rights, which we're closing into the right of Mathlin. We need to construct the slave pen building. What is that? President's probably not that one. Let's go ahead and find it. Where is our slave pens? Orchard Post, Fighting Pits, Arena, Slave Market. There it is. So you have to have the slaves used by buildings minus 15% for the local region, and then the Dictats as well. Interesting. Okay. Best to put that in at probably... How many of the buildings here? I guess since this is a 4-city province, probably best to have it in Arganeth. Although I really don't want to waste the slot on that, I can't lie. But getting a Black Ark would really help us out, so let's start prioritizing. Went into our agreements.
And you dare.
Malekith.
No real agreements to have.
Alariel the
Oh,
Evergreen.
hello, Alariel. Our chief enemy. She usually gets stomped pretty hard, so we'll have to see if we even get to face off. I know the AI does get boosted in certain ways when you play different factions. We'll see. I'm keen to find out if the Ever Queen does her thing or not. Alright, Grond has an outpost going on in, which is awesome. Reth has become a constructor. Any more amount of income we can make is awesome. And yeah, I think we can run up and start a fight with Sigvald before he can start upgrading these settlements too much.
Crone Hellebron. Beautiful.
Hellebron, I think it's going to end up being Dreadspear Doomstack, unfortunately. How many turns does it take to have you recruit in through global?
Behold my beauty.
How many global, interestingly? Enough. Okay. Go global.
I am Cain's instrument.
We'll roll on over on the battle cart, and we'll prepare to assault the Frozen City. Ring. Join on up, bud.
Despair.
And we can probably even grab a master. Good call. Since he will be able to drop out an additional physical resistance for all of our other lords and heroes too. So we've got Bel Ninya, the Weapon Master, Singal the Cunning, or Rinmuad the Cruel. Let's go for Bel Ninya, the Weapon Master here. More melee attack and armor piercing damage sounds fantastic.
Master Druki. This is
Come on over, bud.
military might.
Good to hear. So since you're not in the army for now, we're going to grab the Stimulate Growth and then the point into... Probably just training. Grab his passive buffs for now. Training does nothing, but growth, always nice. Right then. Here's Thor's not moving yet. She's sitting up here in the north. She has her job. It's defending settlements. Very important job. Ooh, yeah, Valkia is destroying Grond. Well, that changes our mind. We're gonna end up probably fighting both. Yeah, Valkia is destroying Grond. She won that battle, though, Caladriel. Okay.
You have a proposal, yes?
Yeah, we'll just have to
Good.
try to trust they're not... I mean, we can't trust them. We have to hope they won't attack. We need to sprint over before Valkia gets to replenish up too much after her battles, because she's easily going to defeat
Noble born.
her opponent there. That's not even going to be much of a challenge. Alyssa, what are your abilities?
Ancient one.
Wound heroes.
Done.
I mean, wounding Cormac is not a bad,
Witch elf priestess.
not a bad call. If you can hack it.
What whispers of
Failure. That's all right. Well, then in the meantime, we will, if we can't grab another hero, Bell and Ninya, you go ahead and join up Crone Hellebron. That's the absolute hero squad here. I'm going to give her one more hero, being one of these other Death Hags. More leadership and melee attack for the entire army sounds great. Welcome, Yaya Dress.
Death Hag.
That's from, if you've ever watched Noxious, how he calls Jaya Ballard from Magic the Gathering. Only for the real ones. We need some more slaves soon, otherwise Death Hag is here. The Crone is going to be upset. Soon indeed.
Sorceress of the Dark Convent.
They have Sareth come on out and do that and start doing some raiding. Because we need the goons.
Raid and pillage.
Or we need the labor for sure. Do some raiding. Valkia should
You
respect
cannot
that.
begin to comprehend my power.
Indeed. I'm going to join your war against the Legion of the Gore Queen, and you... Oh, we start off at war with Avalorn, huh? I wouldn't be surprised if she randomly shows up. Yeah, I'll take all your money.
I will.
Good to hear. And now you will get wiped out.
Fear my malice.
Fool.
Let's wait for the Scourge of
Favored of
Pain
the
to
witch,
lose a bit of land as well.
Mistress of Skulls.
We'll grab the non-aggression with them. Because if we can just snag that area through a bit of shrewd diplomacy, I'm happy to. What's modded about this campaign? So what is modded about this one is we have 4 kind of UI and kind of camera mods. So I've got the better building progression mods on, so that's why the buildings kind of change as they go up, as well as the better camera mod. And I have the dynamic world mod on. So as we conquer territories, it should be taking out assets that don't belong to factions that aren't Druchii. Since we're in Druchii lands, nothing should really change. But as we start taking territory outside of Druchii land, it should drop in, I'm guessing, these tents, these little master tents. As we go along, it's called the dynamic world mod. It was very noticeable with the Empire as we started claiming land in Kimri. It dropped down a whole bunch of little townships as we went. Pretty fun little mod. If I could find one that doesn't cause my game a whole bunch of issues that would work with it and also change the settlements as well. Yeah, dynamic settlements are a really, really immersive bit of goodies you can add on in. But you can find them.
Feared by all.
That's it. The rest of it is completely vanilla. Alright, we've got a bit more gold now, so let's see about grabbing some proper heroes. We've got a lot of say that. No heroes, just upgrades to our settlements. Still have enough to afford the timber bill. I will then. The most we can get out of it we can before Sigvald attacks, the better. If we can take down Valkia.
Silence, worm.
Silence, worm. Fair enough. Words just throw punches. Alright, yeah, Yeah, Valkia's starting a siege up with Galadriel. If we can get over there and stop that.
You.
Decapitate with me. If we can
Death Hag.
at least get over there and get involved in that.
Such terrible concoction.
Wound Cormac.
Enemies of Cain shall fall.
You got him. Well done, Alyssa.
Spells.
Go ahead and make sure we're cleansing the corruption, since there's all sorts of coordinate nonsense here. But we need to
Go on.
jump now that Cormac's gone. Fastest is going through Spite Reach. That's what we do. Hellebron and March Dance. Staying next to the Spite Reach in case Valkia decides to turn around. And hopefully we won't have quite enough slaves to get up to the max tier. So we're only going to be respected. If we win the battle, we'll deserve
Mistress
we get from there.
of Harganet.
going on up.
Observing these thralls.
Observing these fools. Then one more Khanate Assassin. We have got so many heroes. Let's not. We'll grab perhaps the Crows of Cain as an obnoxious flyer. Maybe even to kind of slow down Valkia for a minute. As we saw in her trailer, she's not very good at fighting multiple units at once. Not until she gets real mad.
Noble boar.
Well, we can get an out-aggression with the Drown, and I think this is a good idea.
We shall talk, then I shall
Now, see, I don't like you. You need to keep your mouth quiet.
course.
You can just have an out-aggression pact.
Black-hearted.
I just don't want to get attacked by vampires.
Dark power.
Join Confederation. Probably not there, Galadriel. Yeah, you're willing to confederate while you're under siege? Yeah. No, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to fall to Valkia, although I'd really like to see what she has here besides these two Warriors of Khorne. We shall soon see.
Kyle comes.
Valkia destroys Grond, but she's in March Stance. That's very foolish. Because depending on if we can actually reach her. Grond loses his outpost. We need to petition the Dark Cities by recruiting in some melee infantry.
Hag
That shouldn't be too
Queen.
hard.
I am Cain's instrument.
Here's what we'll do. We will declare war on
Moving
Valkia,
out.
and then we will set up in an ambush
Death
here.
is coming.
We can't reach her. We've got one unit of Exalted Bloodletters and then the Skull Crushers. Those are obviously a huge issue. As long as she only has the one unit of Skull Crushers, we should at least be able to kind of lock them down and destroy them with some archers.
Behold my beauty.
See?
Mother of the Dark Convent. Your wretched flesh will suffer unthinkable torment.
I mean, we're already at war with Valkia, so we shouldn't have to worry. She should be already coming after Spite Reach, since it is a settlement we are currently upgrading with some orchards. We can be real aggressive and put in the Dark Elf residence as well. And then we'll have Alyssa come on over and just
Cain's
keep
bride.
scouting.
With speed.
If they both attack me at the same time, things could be a bit dangerous, but we have a
Silent
lot of
word.
heroes here. If we really need to, we can just surround Valkia with all of these guys and commence the beatdown. Definitely need a brass cleaver. But hello there, J address. Looking good. Throw
I am
Bell and Naya
Cain's
in the brass cleaver.
instrument.
You only go on a lord?
Who seeks me?
There, fixed. More money from trade.
It shall come to pass.
Alright. Yeah, she's not moved because she's up there being obnoxious.
What shall be red?
Feared by
Yeah, no deals to be
Catwoman.
made. Let's just see if Valkia is a fool or not. And turn.
Cease.
You live in the snow. I guess they didn't choose to move to Nagarond. You got driven out. Okay, so she chooses to settle Crone.
Don't
Probably a
waste
good
my
call.
time with petty intrigues.
Non-aggression pact for some gold. This would make us enemies with most of the High Elves. Let's hold off for now. Your land is garbage anyway for some reason. Like, our whole goal is to get down there and actually claim Ulthuan, but we can't live there, which is weird. Instructor, there is something exhilarating about raising something up where once there was nothing. Not for the Dark Elves, unless it's something naughty. So many evil choir masters. Any conflicts are won or lost on the strength of the first vicious charge. This is going to be really useful for Corn.
You.
Will you now? Alright, Valkyrie. Now you know that Crone Hellebron is nearby, and yet you choose to hide.
Dark power.
Make sure he can't reach. He could in March, but nothing else, so we're at least safe for now.
Theory.
I think we'll grab the Driven by Vengeance now, so that way we have the option to go for the first upgrade. Then we can grab the Growth afterwards, likely. Black Art Growth Cumulative. Haven't gained one of those yet, we definitely need to be working towards. So increasing our income is a good way to do so.
Priestess.
I don't think Volkia is foolish enough to stumble into a trap in front of the Spite Reach. So let's move up to our border here. Puts us in a bit more danger, but if Volkia decides to move on, we can then at least claim Crone.
White is such a
I mean, and then 550. So it will require more each time. Alright then. Intriguing.
Speaker of secrets.
Moving on through there, Alyssa.
Onwards.
Perfect. I'd really like to make more agreements with... Ooh, Seducers is an interesting idea. Although Kane, it really doesn't like chaos at all. Marathi will be making deals with him as well.
Malevolent Lord.
Justice.
Nope.
Let's grab the non-aggression and the trade agreement for now, though. So we're making some more money.
Black.
Even if again, yeah, no, Kane would not partner with Slaanesh. All right then, turn. Casting that initial first Death Knight really threw us back. Accidental misclicks. Alright, Volkia, you're just gonna sit here.
Louder.
We've got 2 on the Cauldron of Blood now. Does she get a different mount besides? No, just the only. Okay. I mean, I guess having 2 of you on said Cauldron of Blood is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's grab a Foe Seeker there, and probably we'll want to grab Soothe Saying now that she's on a cauldron. Dropping out some lovely physical resistance. Won't actually spread her and Hellebron out. I do think we want them both on. She loses a lot of her damage. You know what? No, we're going to keep you on foot. Keep you as a duelist. Hellebron will be on the Blood Throne for now. We need that damage going up against Volkia. Especially since we are not going to wait for her. We are going to go directly on in. And we are going to grab the Crows of Cain as well.
Blood Queen.
Dark series.
He's going to keep recruiting. We're going to keep
All-powerful sorcery.
stealing folks from your town. Have the gold for the Cinnabar mining bits. We'll go ahead and throw that on in. Hopefully Sigvald can get into a fight with someone else.
You have a proposal, yes? Good. I do
He
so.
still is fighting the miner settlement, or the miner faction there, so hopefully keep pinned down with that for a while. Also, we really need to hope that we don't drop below into bitter.
mistress.
I guess after
of
this fight, either we
Argonne.
drop into maximum or nothing at all. Onward!
End.
Well, it gives us a valiant defeat. Wanted to make sure I actually held the button instead of flicking off, so I wanted to make sure we didn't drive off somewhere else to actually attacking Grond as intended. But just Volkia, got a lot of hounds. Since they're Hounds of Corn, they're going to be doing a lot more damage than normal. 98 charge bonus on the Skull Crushers. Luckily, we got to Volkia before she gained all of her armor, but she's got the Demon Shield and she got the Scarlet Armor, so she's going to be pretty dangerous. It'll be a fun battle here. Auto Resolve does not like our chances. What we will do is try to keep the Canine Assassin fighting against the Skull Crushers. Firing those poison, not armor-piercing shots, but they'll work. We've got the tools. You have to make sure we get them into the positions they need to be. That'll begin. Ooh, and it is very late, so hopefully my brain doesn't melt halfway through this battle here. Fighting against Volkia, which is basically just baby Scarbrand. Don't let her hear you saying that. That's a good way to get kicked into orbit, but that's basically how she plays. Baby flying Scarbrand. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of nonsense. What we will do is pull back and use some of the terrain to our advantage. Got our crossbows. Where are the enemy Skull Crushers? Here. Since they are unlikely to actually move their Skull Crushers, any of those units, into the forest, I think we will deploy our Dark Shards. Problem is they will likely push forward pretty aggressively. Which I think can play out in our advantage. But instead of putting a line of all four, let's go ahead and deploy them 2 and 2. Still grouping them up kind of as much as we can here. Does she have? She does not have Sleipnir, so we don't have to worry about getting clumps of units exploded. No Sleipnir and no mages. Thank you, Corn. We'll get blocked a bit by the trees, but enemy cavalry is much less likely, thank you, Space Toast, for pointing out, much less likely to charge on into the trees, even though they would win that battle.
Merciless warriors.
Spears on either side here. Then we'll have the assassin, the master, and one of the death hags. Let's grab the one with all the skills, since you can actually do all sorts of nasty things to large units by dropping their attack and accuracy. I don't think actually does anything to melee infantry. Normies, specialized, and then everyone else.
Hellebron, Cain's priestess.
We're gonna have everyone kind of grouped together, but Hellebron is on the pauldrons. We're gonna have her kind of out on the side. I am going to throw in a couple of the witch elves.
Bringers of death.
We really wanted to avoid kind of
Femme fatale.
unorthodox in our makeup if we can. Hide the most important units in the trees. The witch elves kind of go where they're needed. Also lure the enemies into a bit of a position they'd rather not have. Our last unit of spears we will throw into behind here. Blood Crusher's gonna be a huge problem. This is the one thing that is good about Horn, is you really don't have to deal with that much in terms of projectiles. They've got a few throwing axes. Nothing we can't handle. Especially if they get too close, we can run them over with the crows of Cain. very reddish pink looking harpies there. They have gone Super Saiyan. It has gone it very wrong. Alright. Sweet. We're all clumped up in our corner. Hopefully this is enough to bring down Cole and bring it.
Let them suffer.
He's got a very small crossbow. Very small range. That is.
Bride of Cain,
One forward.
if you insist.
Got the Druki hiding in the woods there. We'll send the poison lad up just a bit. Try to lure them over towards here instead of trying to flank, which looks like what they're going to do.
Quickly now. Bringers of death.
Taruki, forward! Dread spears.
Keep moving.
Dark shards.
Rotate those dark shards
We are
there.
ready. Orders understood.
Their only real target going to be the Blood Crushers until they are defeated.
Dread spears. Striding.
Master coming over as well.
Hellebron.
See what you're up to. I'm not going to allow it to happen, though. One back.
Nagarothi.
I mean, they're poisoned. They're not going to enjoy that much. They're going to go ahead and sprint on around with all of the flesh hounds and such.
Orion the King,
Flesh is the way.
doom awaits. Hag, Fury,
Bring down those hounds. We'll have the Crows of Cain here go over the top.
Executioners.
Alright, Skull Crushers. They're going to try to wait as long as they can.
Cold-blooded killers.
I don't care which direction you have to go deal with them.
Spreading despair.
skilled murderers.
Then for
Poor man got run over.
Hellebron.
Go ahead and pull Hellebron away since she's got extra shields.
Guided by Cain.
No melee attack on... where'd they go?
Feel the dark.
Extra damage, break them.
For Amisha.
Alright, well, let's save the explosion. Well, actually, we need to probably cast one on, not Hellebron, but definitely some of these spears.
Taruki.
Sowing turmoil.
Blood Mist. And now we can no longer control.
Nagarothi.
We've dealt with him. Let's have everyone focus on Valkia now.
Death Hag.
You keep running off those Warhounds.
Mothers of murder.
Do what we can to rip through
Elbron.
those warriors, but man, they've got a lot of armor.
Druki. Die, weaklings.
Die, weaklings.
Dark shards.
We've lost another. They're just fleeing.
Wage war.
Hellebron.
Listen, I thought we lost one. Let's go ahead and pull. Those are a bunch of blood.
Forward. Now.
Blood boys.
Dark elves.
Witch elves.
That is the scientific term for them, is the blood boys.
Hellebron.
Oh man, we have taken a lot of damage. Let's get some of these crossbows back.
Dark shards.
Some of the dark shards have lost their ability to fire. Valkia is being obnoxious. Let's go ahead and bring
Death Hag.
other Death Hag back away from the
Ceaseless.
ornate boy she is throwing down with.
Power of Cain.
Murder.
Dark shards.
Valkia would really like to fight.
To murder.
I'm gonna say no.
Destruction.
Master Druki.
Master needs to come on away.
Massacre them.
Nagarothi.
Orders understood.
Hellebron.
Alright, Hellebron, try to avoid Valkia at all costs here. It's not gonna be very easy.
Massacre.
Get back over and try to drop down some more resistance on Hellebron. Rampage isn't great, but it should give her a lot of extra attack. Both them in Dark Shard bolts.
Kill them.
Speak dark deeds!
We need to bring a lot of our melee infantry back in.
Druki, moving out.
Hellebron's gonna go down. Unfortunate, but we are gonna lose her.
Death Hag! Kane's fury!
Oh no, we did it just in time. Wow. Just in time. I definitely should have used the Dark Conduit. But we did win just barely.
Advance, Druki.
Hellebron! Kane's chosen!
Let's not take out any of our extra units to friendly fire if we can help it.
Glorious
We'll go ahead and end the battle. Beautiful. Pyrrhic victory, it says. Now we just fought off Valkia. I mean, man, our infantry took a huge toll, but that's a champion of chaos. Man, it's getting late. I'm zonking out. Hope you all have been enjoying the stream so far. We have been tearing through the enemies. This is pretty much the furthest I've ever been in a Druki campaign too, so we're learning as we go. We lost 746, pretty sizable there. We did end up losing one of the units of Witch Elves, which is unfortunate. They are a tier 2 chevron, silver chevron, which is sad, but we'll gain more. 500 slaves gains, we can easily kick back into the Death Knight. We will be looting and occupying right away. Queen dethroned. It is no small feat to vanquish the Gore Queen, Shield Maiden of Khorne, the very definition of a worthy adversary. More melee attack and more armor piercing for Crone Hellebron, making her even more dangerous. And we've got the Armor of Living Death. It's claimed that anyone wearing this armor cannot die. Unfortunately, they cannot remove it either. It will be slowly driven insane. Oh. Well, luckily that's not actually how this works, but... The Bolt Fiends? A bolt in the eye is a terrible way to die. The calling card of the Bolt Fiends. We've also unlocked our sacrifice to Drakira. An offering to the Queen of Vengeance cannot be any mere kill. It has to be one sought through revenge. A wronged party achieving the retribution due. However, such acts will most likely glean Drakira's attention. Fair enough. And that would give us what? Drop in diplomatic relations with High Elves, but even more weapon strength when fighting against them? That sounds great for later on.
Bloody-handed priestess.
Man, I'm so glad we got through that battle with as many of our units alive as we did. Let's grab the Blood Queen right away, so all of our units in those Death Knight armies are going to be stronger, so we're about to kick one of those off next turn anyway, as well as giving her more hit points and regeneration. Actually, I think we're going to go ahead and go for the ability to increase our Witch Elves next. Oh, hang on now. Blood Frenzy. Yeah, now the Witch Elves they'll increase on their own. Let's get an additional bonus versus infantry. We'll work down her gold line.
This will please Kane.
Definitely replenish troops.
Mother of
Folded in,
despair.
we can go for Hawkeye and Dance of Death both. Oh, actually, increases slave income. Slaves generated per turn is increased by an additional 5. Sold. Post-battle loot as well. And then we'll grab Hawkeye. Stalker, he's a stalker. Great. We don't have to worry about a Crone Hellebron and causing any trouble in her own
Mistress
forces,
of
thankfully.
Argoneth.
Let's go for the training. And yeah, the Nobleborn Ruler sounds great, but let's grab the secondary point to stimulate growth there.
Kane's bride.
Punish troops, Cleanse Corruption, Dance of Death. Sweet, and actually, you can have the Armor of Living Death there. Yeah, address. Enjoying never being able to take off this armor. You look fantastic. Yeah, sweet. If anything, we're probably going to grab the Bull Fiends here. Armor piercing and armor shredding. But we will hold off. Do some rebuilding of Grond itself.
Do not displease me.
Definitely. And Death Knight. Let's take to the streets. Yeah, it's just the worst. Living in Harkonneth would be... In Harkonneth, the Dark Elf desire for murder and blood is kept in abeyance by the strictest of laws in Naggaroth. Only on Death Knight are these laws put on hold, and the Druchii permitted to unleash their true instincts. Bloody excess and wanton slaughter flood the boulevards and plazas, all under Hellebron's intense gaze. Tonight is Death Knight. Hellebron will meet the dawn, revitalized and strong from the night's bloody orgy, although over time she will wither once more. In the Death Knight's aftermath, her followers are sated, their murderous impulses gratified for now. So now the Death Knight slave requirement will increase by 100, which is terrifying, and then a blood voyage will spawn next turn. Great. Still quite a bit of slaves to pass on around where needed. Can we finish Crone now? Ooh, sold. Allows you to pretty much instantly colonize places. Tower of Prophecy gives you a nice bump to research rate, unlocks the recruitment of sorceresses. I would really like more landmarks to be similar to the Chorfs, where you get access to... So if you would get the Tower of Prophecy, then you would get access to rank for sorcerer recruitment. Sorry, for sorceresses, kind of faction-wide instead of just in this area here. Has lots of the different Chaosdwarf landmarks too. I think landmarks are due a bit of an overhaul. That's still a good one. I think what we'll go for is the gold mining pit over here in Grond. And I will spend a bit of our labor to actually speed that along. Well, nah, we won't. We'll spend labor on speeding along our growth instead. Dark Elf residence is over in the Black Pillar. Yeah, we can even upgrade Spite Reach further. Getting Harkonneth to the next tier is going to be probably one of our next most important options. So we need to get in the sacrifice to Mathlan, which requires the slave pin building, which we'll be able to get in the next tier of Harkonneth. Let's go for the slave drive to increase growth, and we'll not waste our growth points, except for I will throw in the Darkhold or Quark. Just take everything up to at least tier 2 so we can get some walls if need be.
Supreme
Let's have you come on back to the Glacial Gardens and perhaps get some more Dread Spears. We can take this up to 4 Dread Spears and then start recruiting in. Interesting that the Druchii don't get access to the Glowwar recruitment, so we'll have to kind of keep that in mind as we go. Unless that's not meant to be a thing. We can trade with Slylostra? I think we will.
We shall talk, then I shall sing, then you will do as I say.
Doubtful.
Yes, my pretty.
You sing.
Now.
I will bring Dark Shards next time.
Walks. Het woman.
Yeah, we're good there. Sweet. Well, an awesome first stream for Hellebron. Thank you all so much for coming on in and stopping by. Hope you enjoyed. I certainly have a good time ripping through our enemies here and bringing down Valkia even.
Chill-hearted.
But that's going to be all I've got for tonight's stream. My brain is starting to melt fully. Ooh, it's a late one. I enjoy these late night streams, but they do wear on my soul. I will see you all next time. Tomorrow we will have a double upload. We've got Orion and Wurzag both showing on up. I'm actually going, as soon as I turn this one on off, I'm going to switch on over to the editing and finish up Wurzag. Thanks for showing on up. Death Knight kicking off in Harkonneth. Man, just the mist of bloods to all of the murder going on here. Basically the purge. Alright everyone, have a wonderful day.